Ladies and gentlemen, the Alabama Senate will now come to order. Our prayer today will be delivered by Senator Roger Smitherman.
Let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to come here today to get us safe and sound. Heavenly Father, we thank you for watching over our families and watching over our relatives and protecting them from all unseen dangers and unseen things. And as we complete this day, Heavenly Father, we ask that you be with us in our highways and byways as we go back. And Heavenly Father, that you will be with us and guide us in safely and sound. Heavenly Father, as we deliberate today, we ask you to be able to touch our hearts and touch our minds and continue the spirit of being able to be as one. Heavenly Father, we ask that you touch and help each and every one of us as we leave here and go forward out of session, that we be able to make the connection with you and continue with you. We'll be able to give you all the praise and glory for all the things you've done. And when you've done all those things, Heavenly Father, we make sure that we do the rest of the things we do, and we do it in your name. Thank you again, and with all who agree with what you've heard and what's said, let's say amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Senator. Today the pledge will be led by Presley Carnley, daughter of Senator Josh Carnley.
Attention, salute, pledge.
Thank you, Presley. Secretary, call the roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman-Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Reed. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver. Mr. Williams.
22 members present. Senate has a quorum, is ready to transact business.
Mr. President.
Senator Wagner.
Move that we excuse absent senators.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. President.
Senator Wagner.
Move that we dispense with the reading of the journal from the previous legislative day, that we adopt said journal.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, the journal is dispensed with. Now we'll move on to introduction of bills. Okay, can't introduce bills.
Tim in here? Anybody in here? You got any second readings? You got some confirmations? Is she in here? Do the confirmations. That's fine.
Committee report. All right, we'll now move on to committee reports. Secretary, call the first committee.
From the Committee on Confirmations, Senate Confirmation number 97, appointing Reggie Sylvain to the Alabama Agriculture and Mechanical University Board of Trustees, receives a favorable report by a vote of 14 ayes and 0 nays.
Senator Weaver.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate confirms Reggie Sylvain to the Alabama A&M University Board of Trustees.
Okay.
All right, you wish to speak to the motion?
Yes.
Mind if I recognize some guests?
You sure can.
All right, please join me in recognizing the students from Fort Dale Academy in the gallery. Will you please stand? Fourth graders from Greenville, Alabama. Welcome to the Alabama Senate. All right, Senator Smitherman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to say, you young people up there, y'all look good. Y'all look good in them ties and shirts. I just want to tell you that. Yeah, you look real good. And ladies, you look good too. I want y'all to know that. Okay? You look good. How's everybody doing today? Hey, so you understand where we are, you know, because we all work together hand in hand. We have an agenda today that we got 3 BBs on there. BBs. Now, I've been told by one of my colleagues in here that BB mean bad bills, okay, and it could. But I was making reference to booger bears, little bears, you know them bad little bears that come out the cage and be running at folks and stuff. These bills running at folks. And so I'm gonna try my best to put them back in the cage if I can. You know, that's where we are today. So I want everybody to understand that why we are where we are and where we are. It's no fault. It's kind of a saying where people say it just is what it is. And I did not come in here with a pre-thought. In fact, a couple of you all talked to me last night, and I said that I thought the day was going to be a great day. And yes, everybody has to make sacrifices. I got to make a sacrifice. I got a grandson that for 3 years he didn't play in his school teams. He played on other teams, and so when he changed schools, he decided to be on the track team for the middle school he was at. He's in the 8th grade. The one that was in here with y'all, you know, the Page. And so he's going to get outstanding honors for track at 5:30 this evening. And yes, I'd love to be there for a time and all that time he's been in sports. And y'all know what I think about sports, but I'm kind of like the, let's see, I'm trying not to call his name. I don't know. You know the senator, hey, y'all gonna know who I'm talking about, because we don't try not to call name. You know the senator that had the 500-page bill? Y'all know who I'm talking about? Yeah, sit right there. See, you remember yesterday he got to the mic because he had missed his daughter's activities. So about 5 o'clock, I might have to get to the mic and kind of do like what he did with my grandson. So so you can see that my personal goals were to leave. So I want everybody to understand that I didn't come in here with a goal not to leave. But y'all know what I be saying about once a month. And I'm gonna say it now, and then I'm gonna get into what I'm supposed to in here. I said, Senator Roger Smithman, reporting for duty. It's my job to take your tools. Only reason I say your because you're the majority. It's ours. But to take your tools, and the tool is the special order right here. That's the tool. And to take your rules, which I'm standing up here because of the rules, and be successful for the citizens of Senate District 18, okay? So that's my objective today, is to take this calendar, take our rules, and be successful for the citizens there. So that in mind, we're gonna have to start talking about what we're trying to do. Now, you brought up a good one, Madam Chairman, because let me just tell you all something. I told a few of you all, I had the distinct honor Friday at, I'm gonna get my exact time, at 10 o'clock to be standing up on a podium like this, giving the commencement address to the professional and master's and graduate students at Alabama A&M. I was the man during that time. And I had this pad like this. And I had a speech, and I'm gonna tell you all about the speech. It was a speech that was provided by Denzel Washington at a commencement that he had given many, many years ago that just had impressed me. And as my theme, I took a part of that and built a 6-page speech. And when I walked up, I looked at the crowd just like this, and as I start off, when I said speeches or when I'm talking, you all got to tail in on the prayer. I do those two things. I start out, I said, praise the Lord, saints. And so they said, praise the Lord. I said, I caught you off guard. I said, so then the second time I said, praise the Lord, saints. Everybody in there said, praise the Lord. Okay. Once I realized that they were in tune with me and they were responding, I took the pad and did just like this. I mean, really, the way you hear the noise and everything, I said, except it made a loud noise, they said, boom. I said, it's time for us to get it on. And I started talking to them. And I started talking about life. And I started talking about stuff y'all hear me in here. Because I told them, I said, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt when you walk out of here. Don't even expect it. I said, don't expect it. I mean, you're not going to be mistreated, but don't expect you're going to get the benefit of the doubt. I talked to them about basic stuff about when you get out of here and go to work. I said, I use my daughter as an example, the one that I practice with. I gave an example when she came home from college because she played golf in college. And we were going to go to the golf course. That's our sports thing we do together. And we were supposed to be there, I said 8:45. Well, I only stay about 12 minutes from Robert Trent Golf Course up there. And so I'm laying around the house, taking my time going. I heard outside this noise, run, run. She done got in her car, she gone. Because she said, Daddy, if you ain't there 15 minutes early, you're late. So I told him that story. I said, so you have got to get to work ahead of time. I said, when the folks, I said, you want to get promotions, but when the folks ask you to do extra stuff, you want to complain, talking about you ain't getting paid. How are they going to promote you to something and train you if you don't ever want to do nothing extra to then be an expert at it, and then they're going to say, oh, I need to pay them if I want them to continue because they are handling my business. So I told them about that. Then I also told them that you have got to, of course, put the Lord first. You got to thank him. You got to do all those things. I said, and then in the end, when he does what you want him to do, you must give him all the praise and glory. I said, don't walk out here and think that you did this by yourself. I said, I pointed at the people, their parents and everybody else. I said, you need to thank these people. And they gave them a big round of applause for the folks that helped them. Now, I also, so you all know this, I also try to do what I can to help my colleagues. So at that moment, one of our colleagues came to hear me give the speech. It was Representative Laura Hall, who represents that part of Huntsville. And so she was sitting up in the stands over there in the arena, and my wife was over there. So I said, I didn't know where she was. And so I said, I called her name from the podium. I said, where are you? And she stood up and raised her hand, and I told him, I said, that's your representative. I said, she did, you know how it is, these younger folks, I try to talk their language. I said, she don't just throw down there. I said, she get down there. I said, on top of that, she is the president. Y'all, I want y'all to hear this, for y'all that know this. Laura Hall, Representative Hall, is the president of the National Black Caucus of State Legislators. She's the national president. So when I told them that, I said, they went wild in there. See, so so when you come to the district, I'm gonna build you up like Rocky, or Miss Rocky in this case. I'm gonna make you look good, okay? I want y'all to know that. So you ain't got to worry. You're gonna be received with love and with open arms, all right? So I wanted to say that. Now, getting back to this one. You know, I want to tell you something. You know, I was impressed with the school's effort to be a part of the academic process. In fact, the guy that the past president of the Board of Trustees, he's not the president now, but the past president of the Board of Trustees, he's my veterinarian. I've been knowing him, hey, he done been with me through 3 dogs and everything else. And now, you know, I don't really have a dog, but, you know, some folk babysit, I dog sit. Be exact. You know, I got to tell you, the chairman, is that I appreciate that. See, that keep me from having to go try to find stuff and tell them in the office and all like that. She allowed me to use some information that I already had privilege to, but I didn't have it with me. Now I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell y'all about the old days about filibusters. Back in the old days, we didn't have any limitation on titles. So, you know, you could have a title 500 pages. You know what I'm talking about? Just read the title. And we had a bill that was called, that bill back there, the senator from Madison knows what I'm getting ready to say. That bill back there is a baby bill. That baby right there. We used to have what's called Big Bertha. Big Bertha was that high. That high. And the title was that high. That's the title. And what we do to show you how we had a gentleman's agreement in here, and we have one pretty much now, because that's what you just did, a woman, a gentleman's agreement. You know how we do things. The former lieutenant governor, who happened to be standing in the hall down now as a lobbyist, would be at that mic, and I'd be at this mic. And the day, and we really, basically, we didn't have a rule, but basically the lieutenant governor would alternate who get the mic each day. It didn't matter about party. I mean, in fact, we were the majority. It didn't make no difference. So one day he'd have the mic, and he'd be filibustering about it was something similar. And then when he got through, as he go down the hall, like we walk down the hall, he would walk into my office and he would set Big Bertha down on my desk, because he know I'm gonna have the mic the next day. And I walk up in with Big Bertha and do what I gotta do. And when I get through, I would pick up Big Bertha and walk down the hall and put it on his desk, okay? That was before we started wanting to limit titles and all that. See, it was a process. Let me show you the advantage of the old process. The advantage of the old process is that, you know, just like we got these bills on here, if you had 20 bills, and if the BBs, which is the booger bears, was number 15, then you could knock out 15 just like that, because we knew that at that moment, if you gonna filibuster, it ain't about closure, because you got this title and all that, and if you close somebody with a 1,000-page bill, you'll be here to Christmas trying to read it. So, because you still can say, I want it read. So you didn't have all of this, but when you cut back on time, you make it where we have to take the totality of the whole day to deal with time, to deal with issues. That's why I'm up here talking. The issues I'm saying is probably on page 3 or 4. Okay, But because I only get 2 hours, see, we had unlimited debate. One senator could stand up here 12 hours if his legs would stand up here. He didn't have to talk about stopping no hour and you come back and do this and got to put an amendment in and get another hour. We have to do all that stuff. All you have to do is come to this mic, and if you got convicted enough to what you are dealing with, you stand right here and you talk and you do what you got to do. So see, in reality, it made it worse for the process because it made folks having to stop stuff because you're dealing with stuff way down here because you got to have what's called a cumulative of time. A cumulative. Cumulative wasn't an issue then. But see, now it is. So you got people ask, that's why I had to explain it. You saying, well, why you up here on confirmations if you were about this bill down here? Because I'm gonna be telling y'all up front, because I don't want to get down there. I don't want to be there. So that's why I got to be up here. And it ain't good on sign and die day to be in that posture because you can run out of time before you get to, I don't know, we got the local bills over there? How many we got? 8, 9. What he said? How many we got? 9. He the man. He the man. He might be wrong, but he the man. So we got to go with what he said. He the man. That's all I'm saying. So see, that's 8, and that's probably about, that 8 will probably equate to about, no matter what you did, it would equate to about 7.5 hours. The 10, you said 10 confirmations, 10, 15 confirmations. That equates to an additional 15 hours. So see, that's why I said if we wasn't signing to die, you could say, okay, well, we're gonna carry over next day, or we're gonna go over past 12:01 and keep working. You have other strategies to try to deal with everything. But with sign and die day, with 25 hours, and last time I count 10 to 10 was 12, we only have 14 hours before the clock is gonna ding. That's why I'm up here. That's why I want everybody to know. That's why I got to start now. You know, so, you know, I want to explain that to everybody because I don't want nobody to have no questions about why and what he doing and this and that, you know. But that's what we have to do, you know. So I appreciate everybody understanding. And y'all saw yesterday. Wasn't yesterday a good smooth day? See, I thought this was gonna be like that. And see, you know how sometimes you know how when all y'all who have children, you know when you give them too much sugar, what happened to them? That y'all don't get to bouncing around and everything. Well, see, yesterday I had eaten 2 pieces of cake, or had a Mountain Dew too, or I was bouncing around in here, and I was all. Hey, y'all know it. I was all over there with y'all everywhere, cause I wasn't gonna come to the mic, so I just had that energy. See, so today I did pretty good this morning, but probably about 45 minutes I'm gonna need to probably get a little Mountain Dew, and then I got 4 pieces of cake in the office now. I got one of them key limes, got 2 pieces of pound. And then I got, and the other one I got some banana pudding. So I'm going to enjoy myself today. And then I might even ask y'all, hey, the secretary going to cringe at me when I say this. Cause I know he is, but I love him too. But I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to say, I need y'all to suspend the rules so I eat my cake right here. So I say you'll cringe. Now I know that's not going to happen. I know that, see. I know how he is. He's a good man, but see, he likes protocol. See, so I'm not going to mess with the procedures in here. But I would like to. But I ain't, you know. But no, I thought we would be able to do that, but I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pray that we get past this, so that we can. Now this is the key. This is the key. I'm not saying it's gonna be this way. Now I don't want everybody to say why he being that way, but I'm just telling you. So you'll know in my heart how I feel. After 3:30, don't worry about it. We need to be here to 12. I can't get to the banquet. So I don't care about leaving when I get home at 7:30 and 8. It don't make no difference. I done missed it. 7 is just like midnight. No, if I leave at midnight, it'll be like 1:20 a.m. That's what time I get home. So 7 is just like 1:20 to me. It's no advantage. See, so I'm into what I would like to do. So after we get past that, you can take your shoes off or sit on your desk, relax your feet, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Because we'll just be here, just have little discussions, and look, I don't mind talking to anyone, or anything, and anything like that. You know, I don't mind dialoguing and anything anybody decide they want to do. I only said that to say that I'm by no means are trying to keep anybody from being able to do what I'm doing, and let's talk at the mic. And even if they want to talk about, like, if 10 hours from now, that means about 10 o'clock we'll be getting on, we'll get on, probably some bills by 10 o'clock. So anybody want to talk about them, I'll be glad to let them talk. I mean, I will not let them talk, but I'll be glad to yield, and they can talk as long as they want to. But when you make that motion, I'm gonna be right back over here and start back talking now. So I thought I'd tell them. So you don't think that you can't get up. You can get to the mic when you get ready. I'm on, you know, I just borrowed this. It's not mine. I borrowed it. It's ours. You know, so I want everybody to know that this ain't a block you from nobody wanting to do anything. So just feel free, relax, and we gonna make it through this day, and we gonna be better for it. One thing I'm glad, and I know probably some folk downstairs don't like what I'm gonna say. It's not a lot of them, but it's about 2 or 3 of them probably don't, and I apologize. Y'all hear me, don't you? I apologize if they don't like it. But I'm sure glad that we on this calendar, we don't have on there, lock the librarians up and put them in jail. Do y'all remember when you were coming up and you go to the library and you used to be a nice little old lady in there and she'd walk around saying, shh, because she wanted everybody to be quiet because people trying to study in the library. You remember that? Little old lady, you know, look like she's a retired teacher or somebody, you know, just having some fun, doing stuff like that. And then we want to go in there and scoop them up and throw them up in jail and lock the thing and throw away the key. Just because a book is up there and somebody don't like somebody reading the book. For real? Are we saying that they put the bad books in their purse and bring to the library and sneak them up there or something? I mean, that's what we trying to make them be villains? No. I'm here to protect the librarians from going to jail. I'm here. That's right. I'm there protected the best I can. You know, I'm gonna make sure these librarians are not going to jail for some book. And let me tell you something else. I'm talking to my good friend back there now. He know how I love him because I throw blood on the floor for him yesterday. And I'm going to throw blood for you again. But I want to say this. The Fulton bill, I don't know why we got that bill. Because I can tell everybody if you want to, you can come up here right now. And I can go to Facebook. And I bet you I can show you everything you think you don't want to see. Right here. It's strand up Facebook right here. On this phone. Filtering out Apple, one app ain't gonna do nothing to keep whatever you trying to keep from people. Here it is. You think it ain't? Come up here. I'll show anybody bold enough up in here that I don't think you want to do that in here. Now, this former said that we here, but I'm here to tell you. No, you don't want to do that. I'll give you my phone, but you don't want to do that. You know, so I'm telling y'all, here it is. Okay? So ain't no sense in doing that. It don't make no sense. We getting ready to put major companies here out of the retail business because we trying to protect something that we can't protect. You can't stop that. You can't be stopped by the device. It can't. That ain't the mechanism that's gonna stop it. Unless you did it worldwide, in the whole world, and that ain't gonna happen. So that's what I mean. I know it's intended and all that, but hey, ain't no way. It's no way. There's no way. So that's why I'm standing up here. That's what I mean by book about. You know, this ain't the place just to do stuff called to make us feel good. I keep telling everybody we are dealing with 5.5 million people's lives. Million. People who work in these places have to be laid off because we are trying to make sure about stopping something that we cannot even begin to have a dent in it. We can't. It ain't about whether you like it or agree with it, you know, we should or shouldn't. That's not it. But this mechanism that we talking about doing, it ain't gonna do one thing to stop what you're trying to stop. And when they get to be, well, I'm gonna be conservative on it. When they get to be 16, it ain't nothing you can do. They driving. So there ain't nothing you can do. See, I actually think if you want to be concerned with something, you need to be concerned with all this vocal music. Y'all know what I'm talking about, all this vocal. See, you can't say rap because all rap is not vocal. So there ain't nothing wrong with rap, but vocal, that's what needs to be banned. Vocal. That's what I'm talking about. All this cursing and all that kind of old stuff. You know, that needs to be eliminated. You know, because see, you have to have something to offset that. That's why we were trying to get the bill that related to clergies. That's why I stand here and I know that there are people in their life who are atheists and who don't believe in the Lord, and that's their prerogative, and I respect that. But we need prayer in school. We need prayer back in school. I'm a constitutional law professor. I don't need nobody to come tell me about what's constitutional or unconstitutional. I'm just telling you what we need. And if we have to follow the order of service that Congress does, that the Supreme Court has said is valid, then we need to do that. I'm so glad that we pray in here. I'm so glad. It sets a total different tone and atmosphere to bring the Lord into the door. And we brought him in here. And now we just asking him to stay in here with us and help guide us through what we're doing. So that's what we got going on in here today. We've done pretty good this session, y'all. You know, I had one of my colleagues in here, I ain't gonna call no names, but he suggested to me that I need to make a little motion up here. I ain't making the motion now, I'm not being asked to be recognized. He said, you might well go and make that sign and die motion. And it's time to go. He said, do you want me to do it or you gonna do it? I ain't gonna call no name. I told him, I said, this is what I told him. I said, you gonna have a mini ride in here. You gonna have a big ride up there. All them folks up there, they up there because of the calendar. Don't y'all worry. We gonna figure out a way to get through this. Now y'all might have to go get lunch and come back, but we gonna figure out a way to do it now. So I'm telling y'all that, so don't worry. Well, I ain't say all of them. You got about 3 of y'all gonna be disappointed. I don't know who, I ain't asking who. Now, let me say it like this. If we can't work it out, then we gonna, how many bills we got on the calendar? 7 pages. How many is it? 2 minutes. Anybody can tell me, because I don't have my calendar up here, right here with me. You know, or do I? Yes, I do. I got one. I didn't know I forgot I had one. How many we got? Guesstimated. 35. Well, now, if we can't work through this, it's like a lottery. We're going to have to put 35 names in there. And we're going to pull 2 out. I don't know who the lucky 2 going to be. Because, see, we'll be at 10. See, and then it's going to take about, an hour on one, we'll be at 11, and an hour on the other, we'll be at 12. So we're going to be able to do 2 bills. 2. If we can't work it out. Come on up here. I want these folks to see you. I've been holding class. They'll tell you, on filibuster, I've been holding class. And hey, they'll tell you it's a nonpartisan class. Am I right? I'm right. Hey, I do R's and D's in the class. Yeah, I want everybody to be able to know what to do up here. Everybody get loose in here. Y'all know why? Because that means I can sit down. Y'all be at the mic, hell and stuff. I can sit down and relax, but until we get enough troops, and I'm not talking about, it ain't got nothing to do about no party, it's issues. Y'all know that. We issue driven. I mean, we got about 5% of this stuff be party, still about 5%. I'd give or take 3 or 5% of this stuff like that, but everything else is issue. That's why I was up there with you yesterday. That was the issue. You and I right by each other on the issue when dealing with retirement people. Right. But today we on a different road. You on the left side, I'm on the right. But that's issue driven, isn't it not? Ain't that right? That's issue driven. That's what I want them to understand. They ain't got to do about no party. We deal with issues. And so today I'm dealing with an issue. Yeah, I'm dealing with an issue. That's all it is. And the issue is them 3 booger bears I told y'all about. Oh, they terrible. You ever had little bears chasing at you and you be trying to run you in the woods? They be trying to bite and eat you up. And you got to climb up on the tree. And then you up on a little weak limb and it's leaning. And then that bear jumping up there trying to bite you. But right now, the bear's jumping up trying to bite us in here. So what I'm going to try to do is get a little honey and get his attention away. So we can get out the tree and then go over there and get on a big strong tree where the bear can't get up there. And the bear gonna try to come up the tree. And you said, what you mean by the bear coming up the tree? The tree is that might. It's gonna be people coming up there trying to say whatever like that. So what I got to do then, I got to be high enough that there ain't no limbs down here. That the bear up there just looking at me and doing like this. And then I'm gonna take me some of them little square I'm gonna get the bear a couple little sugar cubes so the bear know I love the bear, but I can't let you bite me. I can't let you eat me up. Now I love you, but I can't let you eat me up. And so that's why I got to have a little sugar. So that's what I'm doing in here. That's what I'm saying. We gonna do well. Now, it doesn't have to be 2 out of 35. Because it's at 10 now, we might get straight by 2. We might get straight in here about 2 o'clock. And if we get straight by 2 o'clock, then that's 10 hours, right? That's 10 hours. So then we're gonna pass 10 out of 30. So that means 20 people unhappy, 10 people happy, okay? And I don't have any preference, y'all, so I ain't doing the picking and choosing. So I'm not remember I told y'all, I take the 2s that they give me. So when you give me them, put the 10 out there, if you decide to go down the order, the first 10, y'all decide to skip and say, no, we want to go down here to number 5, that's fine with me. So, because I ain't trying to, other than them 3 booger bears, then I don't have any problem. But I just wanted the audience to know so they don't have to wonder, what's going on and how this might go. And I'm wondering if this is going to happen. So they'll know when they see what happened with the booger bears, they'll know. Yeah, they'll know. And so that's why I have to be up here talking on each one of these. It's because of what may be the situation. Now, you know, I brought a little truck today. Well, I came down here in a truck these last 3 days. I tried to be like my colleagues, you know, the truck crowd. I'm trying to be like y'all, you know. Yeah, I'm trying to be like y'all. But I can't master it like y'all. I want y'all to know that. It took me about 5 minutes to park right into spots with that big old truck. I said, golly, I'm going to hit somebody or all out here in the driveway where they can't get through. And my seatmate over there, I was just all over his side of the line. He wasn't going to have nowhere to park. I had to pull out about 5 times. And then finally, one of my colleagues in here saw I was struggling, so they came over and gave me some mercy. They said, let me just guide you in here. Come on up and move over. And so I got it right. But the rain, you know how we talking about the last day, we're going to take a few things like some boxes and things. But the rain is going to be so wet, even though they're going to fake me out, because the rain going to stop here in the afternoon. And by the time I get to Jefferson County, a storm going to fall, and all my stuff going to get wet. So I got to now, I done brought this big old truck down here, and I got to come back. Just thank God we're going to have, you know, we're going to have, everybody that's on either one of the budget committees, you know we're going to have that, our chairman said he's going to have that, start that committee and looking at how we're going to deal with the foundation thing. So it meets, the first meeting is sometime the latter part of this month. And so I guess when I come back then, I have to bring the truck and kind of do whatever I need to do, you know. But it's a nice truck, too. It's one of them nice Dodge Ram trucks, 4x4s. Oh, man, I'm sitting up so high, I'm feeling like I'm big time up there, you know.
Those hold a lot of stuff.
Tell me that.
Those hold a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff, oh, yeah. And then you got these fancy tires on it, you know, like wide, and about that high, you know, with the rims on it. And, you know, I'm thinking about giving that truck a nickname. You know what that is?
What's that?
Scalded Dog. You know, you throw hot water on a dog, he gonna take off running or running at you or whatever. Well, see, that truck take off like that, it'll go, you know. And so I said, man, I know trucks get up like that. You know, I'm thinking about them old time trucks. See, I got if you understand what kind of truck I have, I got a 1997 F-150. 1997. I like old vehicles. I drive a 97. You know that Mustang I got? A 2001, 23-year-old car. 300,000 miles.
It still looks good.
It is. I got, in fact, it's a grown man's toy. It is. It's a V6, and I got I got them headers on it. You remember when you going up, when you crank it up, it says rootin', rootin'. See, it's you know, and it'll fly. I want you to know that it'll fly. It'll take off. I think it got wings on it. Like hit that accelerator, take off. You know. But thank God for Waves. How many of y'all got Waves on your phone? Yeah, thank God for it. So you know when to slow down. Okay? And you're saying, we got immunity. Yes, we do. But the purpose for the Waves is not because of the ticket. I mean, we have immunity. So that I'd say that now. The purpose is, if you late trying to get somewhere, I ain't got time to stop and talk to the officer 30 minutes. I'm super late then. Okay? I'm super late. I remember one time I was coming down here, I got stopped, and he stopped 2 or 3 people really. And so he realized who I was, and he wanted to go on and take care of the business with those other 2 people, because I showed him my ID, and I was headed to the State House. We was in session and all that. And so he said, would you do me a favor? I said, okay, officer, what you want to do? He said, would you just wait right here? Now, I got to tell y'all the true meaning of the story. He had made an assessment of the situation, which the officer's supposed to do. And I asked him, why did he ask me to wait afterward? I said, why did you? I didn't ask him why he was at front. I just did what he told me to do. But at the end, I said, why did you ask me to wait? Now, I'm going to give you the picture. The two people he stopped, other than me, they didn't look like me. They look like y'all. Okay? Now you said, what's the significance of that? He came back and told me, he said, look, he said, I really didn't want to use my billy club because I probably might have to use it on one of them because of the way they would have reacted. I said, what you mean? He said, you know, I'm a legislator, by the way, and we in session, so, you know, I get immunity. I had to reset that. But he said, them two boys ain't gonna understand why I stopped 3 people, gave them 2 tickets, and I let this black guy get away going without a ticket. And they ain't gonna understand that. He said, they ain't gonna understand it. See? So he told me why, and I said, well, I understand. I said, but he said, I know you were late. He said, so if you need me to escort you in, because I told him what time we got started, he said, I'll escort you on in. You know, we are not here when they call this roll. That the lieutenant governor, the governor, they can send the state troopers to take possession of us and bring us down here. Everybody understand that, don't you? They take possession of us. We don't have a choice if they want us here. So he knew that. That's why he said that I'll escort you in. But guess what I told him? Remember, I was in the Scalded Dog. I call that car Scalded Dog too. I was in the Scalded Dog. I said, officer, I said, I know you finishing up your paperwork for the tickets, those tickets. I said, I don't need you to escort me in. I said, all I need you to just keep your head down. I said, because I'm finna fire it up and get up out of here. And I'll get there on time. Of course, I didn't do that in front of him now. I respect him. But after I got over the hill, I called for the dog to be scalded. And when I came into the deck, I slid into the parking lot. And jumped out and ran on in here. So no, that's what I'm telling you about them vehicles. I like old vehicles. The other thing is that I can work on the car myself. See, back in the day, I used to build cars. Yeah, I used to build. We would buy a frame. We would go get a new wiring harness. Usually the motors were good. We would put the transmission, have to get a transmission, we would put it in. And my specialty was working on starters. You know, putting bushings in and doing all of that. I worked on starters of cars. And we had a team of us. And we put in about $900 in a car and we sell it for about $3,000. So all those are clear for a little extra work. That was our part-time work that week. We would clear about $750, each one of us. You know, so that was our hustle. You know, that was building and see, back then, you could go to, it used to be, was it Mako car paint? Yeah, Mako car paint. You could get it for $99. $99, baby. Now, they didn't do much sanding of your car. They just paint over the paint. But hey, you $99 and you think you're getting a new car. See, I'm glad y'all saying that because some of the people don't know that. They think I be making up this stuff. No, this is really life I'm telling them about. Oh yeah, we do the same thing. Now you gonna talk about driving that way? See, I used to back in my another life, you know, cause see, when I came out of high school, I didn't go to college right then. See, I worked in like a steel plant, and so I'm with that crowd, okay, and that crowd like to race, you know. So see, I used to drag race, you know, I used to do all that, and I used to have a Charger, Dodge Charger, 440. Hey, with 440 Hemi, fully synchronized transmission, poly traction rear end. And for you car folk to know what that means, a fully synchronized transmission means that you have a little gauge up there, like the racers, because you're racing. When the RPM gets up to a certain point, you don't have to push your clutch in. You know, just when they get to that point, you just ram it into the second because you're racing. That's the way the racers do. They don't be touching no clutch, and they'll be lost the race by then. You know, so they ram it in. And when you get to the third gear, the car is like this. And that power traction rear end stabilized, so when you hit fourth, the car just lay down like that, baby. You ain't go across the finish line, okay? So so we would have, I had a Dodge Charger 440, and I bought it from the Dodge place up on Vestavia, right up on Montgomery Highway. And there was a guy that was in the military that he had purchased it, but he had got a family, so he came back and got one of them, what they call them New York Chrysler New Yorker. So y'all remember them? That's the luxury Chrysler, New Yorker. And so he came back and got that. So here this new car sitting there, and I wanted to get this car. And so I got it, and see, it had headers on it too. See, by the way, the Mustang I got, the headers are capped. Oh, that'd be so loud on the road you couldn't do it, but you have to put a cap on them. So this car had caps on the headers too, so I could ride on the streets, and then when I hit the racetrack, you take the caps off. You know, and that's when the power will really come out of that car and explode. Now, you know how we go on these trips, conferences? We went to one, where is the, let's see, isn't it Illinois or Indiana, where the Daytona 500 is? And where is it? In Indianapolis. Indianapolis, yeah. We went on a trip up there to Indianapolis, you know, like a conference. And one of the things that the people there got for us was to showing us around, you know, like in the evening and stuff after the conference that day at the Daytona 500. And they had a little test ride, you know, the legislators could get in and ride around the track with the drivers. When we got down there, I told them about my credentials. So they said, do you know? They said, kind of ride over here, we want to see, because I told them I want to drive the car. And so they said, we want to see if you can do it. So, you know, they did that, So when we got ready to go out on the track, and they told me, what you do when you're on those tracks, when you get ready to go in the curve, you go high. And that's why you see them go up high. And then you come down low on the inside. So they explained to me what I need to do. So when we got in the, you know how you're in the pit and you get ready to come out, I had that clutch in, and so you know how them cars sound. So I was sitting there, they strap you on in, you like this, I hit that gas, I hit it. I had the clutch down, but I hit that gas, that thing said, rootin'. That man looked at me like that. Then when we came on out, I popped the clutch up, and the car spin and went out there. I said, I'm ready, baby. I'm ready. Got out there on the track, and I didn't go real fast, you know, because I wanted to be safe. I didn't get up to about 168 miles an hour or something like that. I couldn't go that 200, you know. I said, nah, that's a little too fast. But I was flying around there. I was having a good time. I want y'all to know that. I had flashbacks in the days when I did get out there and race like that, you know. And now I'm going to flip that to a serious note. That's why I work so hard to deal with that exhibition driving, because that's dangerous. That is dangerous out there, and that's dangerous. And when you talk about downtown Birmingham, right at Midtown, for y'all don't know what Midtown is, if you ever downtown and you see that Publix sitting right down in the middle of the city, then all those in that geographical area right there is about 3,000 people live, because it's all those pretty lofts and everything that they live. Down at the bottom of it, you got Stakeout, Pandora, you got all those places down there that people are walking, and those citizens are down there. And as a result of that, the folks out there, those are one-way streets, and you got folks out there racing and doing wheels and everything, and of course the police is on them. They doing a good job. But we also had to put some cameras up. See, for them who think they done got away, we gonna have that tag number. And you know, you all made it, put some teeth in it, because they can impound those cars now. And yes, I tell you how dangerous it is. We've had 2 people to get killed who were spectators. So I want to thank everybody, because you all, in fact, it was yesterday, we strengthened that and put the cameras on there. So I want to thank everybody in here for that, okay? All right, so I want you to know, because I'm standing here doing this, I want you to think I ain't appreciative. I'm very appreciative. I want y'all to know that. But some of y'all gonna appreciate me keeping these booger bears away from y'all. You gonna appreciate that. See, I'm trying to protect everybody in here who don't want to deal with the booger bears. That's why I'm up here. It ain't just for me. I'm trying to protect everybody who don't want to deal with it. Because some of y'all, if you forced to deal with it, you may have to do other things. I'm not going to get in your business, but you may or may not have to do other things. So it's my job to protect you, if I can. Now remember this. I ain't trying to seem like the Cape Saver or nothing, because I want y'all to keep protecting me too. I want you to know that. I know I need y'all just about as bad as I'm saying I'm gonna help you all here. I need you, so don't think for 1 minute I'm in some fog of thinking that I need every last one of y'all, and you all have been there, and I thank you. I say that because I believe in giving people the flowers while they live. I do. I really, really do. And you all have shown time and time again that you're sensitive to a lot of things, and I appreciate that. I just want everybody to know that. See, so that's that. You don't have to think that I'm unappreciative. I'm very appreciative, But however, today, this probably needs to be the most deliberate day out of 30 days. See, because sometimes people, through no intended reason, do some things irrational in trying to accomplish ends. And so this is a time to be more deliberate. We're gonna need to just kind of take our time as we step through each step of the day. And how much more time I got on this one? 8 minutes, okay. All right, so that's what we are looking to do. Now see, they had this big time bill signing. Ain't nobody invite me to the bill signing. Big bill. I support it 1,000%. But I'm not worthy to get. Oh, I didn't see you standing there. How you doing? This the boss right here. Y'all don't realize this is the boss. I'm just acting like I'm the boss. This the real boss. I want everybody to understand that. I'm not confused, okay?
I appreciate your comments today. Sure appreciate everything everybody has done this year on the Confirmations Committee. It's been my first session to be the chairman, and we've gone through a lot of confirmations. I think that we've had almost 120 filed this session, and we're down to 15, so we're certainly making progress. Mr. Sylvain, he's certainly quite a good candidate, I believe, for the Alabama A&M Board of Trustees. He has done a lot of really, really good things. He has a lot of professional experience. He has steered the management of his family enterprises over the last 4 years, and he was telling us that he had pioneered the establishment of a startup funeral home dedicated to providing opportunities for his family successors. And I know that that's something that's been really, really important to him, and something that really made him stand out. In addition to that, he has been a regional sales manager in the Southeast, and he has not only done sales endeavors for products over the 8 southern states, he's also done it for some Caribbean islands as well. It also says that he had directed a team comprised of 11 direct territory sales managers of 5 brokerage companies. Did that for 18 years, so that certainly gives him a lot of experience in that. And with all that managerial experience, I think that he will bring a lot to the Alabama A&M Board of Trustees. Before that, he was district sales manager, also had some supervisory time, one of direct territory sales managers in 2 brokerage companies. Executed the management of sales operations in Georgia and Alabama and Tennessee. He did that for about 1.5 years. Before that, for the 4 years prior, he was a territory sales manager in Georgia which he formulated and managed comprehensive food service sales strategies within the Georgia market. So again, I think that is other expertise that he has brought to his resume and brought to the state, and certainly made him a good candidate for the Alabama A&M Board of Trustees. Prior to that, he had another 5 years as a cultural food brokerage company where he oversaw product lines for food service manufacturers. He formulated and managed school business operations. He collaborated with merchandisers and marketing specialists to devise local marketing programs, and he governed the overall operational facets of the company. Again, another 5 years of good experience that certainly made him a good candidate for the Alabama A&M Board of Trustees. Prior to that, he has some more great experience. He worked 4 years for the USDA Food and Nutrition Program, where he was a food program specialist. It says that he monitored state-administered school lunch programs. He conducted school lunch reviews, the Northeastern region in Boston, and provided management evaluation to technical assistance to state agency personnel. He also clarified program policies to the National School Lunch Program. So I think that also brings him a lot of great experience to serve on this board. In addition, not only to having a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, he also has a Master of Science in Agriculture. Certainly something that will be a great asset to them as he serves on this board. He has a lot of great skills. He is skilled in strategic planning, sales and marketing, team leaders. He has analytical skills. He's a problem solver. He has communication skills. He has a special interest in mentoring young and gifted students in reading and cooking Creole cuisine. Creole. So that'll bring something interesting as he serves there on the board. He also has received some awards and recognition. He's been the recipient of numerous accolades at Breakbush Brothers. He's notably secured the Sales Manager of the Year award on 3 occasions. So certainly someone who has been the Sales Manager of the Year 3 times on 3 occasions certainly, I think, brings a lot of expertise as he serves on that board. He has a lot of leadership and community involvement. He has been active on a lot of diverse boards. He has been on the Henry County Leadership Council, the Jaguar Foundation of Atlanta. Okay. So with that, Mr. President, I would like to renew my motion of the Senate confirms Reggie Sylvain to the Alabama A&M Board of Trustees. And long roll, please.
All right, Secretary, call the long roll.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Allen. Mr. Barfoot. Mr. Beasley. Mr. Bell. Mr. Butler. Mr. Carnley. Mr. Chambliss. Mr. Chasteen. Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman Madison. Mr. Elliott. Ms. Figures. Mr. Gavan. Mr. Gudger. Mr. Hatcher. Mr. Hovey. Mr. Jones. Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kitchens. Mr. Livingston. Mr. Melson. Mr. Orr. Mr. Price. Mr. Reed. Mr. Roberts. Mr. Sessions. Mr. Shelnut. Mr. Singleton. Mr. Smitherman. Mr. Stewart. Mr. Stutz. Mr. Wagner. Ms. Weaver.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
31 ayes, 0 nays. Reggie Sylvain's confirmed. Secretary, call next confirmation.
From the Committee on Confirmations, Senate Confirmation number 100, appointing Robert Bud Kramer to the Alabama Agriculture and Mechanical University Board of Trustees, receives a favorable report by a vote of 14 ayes and 0 nays.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate confirms Bud Kramer to the Alabama A&M Board of Trustees. And I would say previous role without objection, but I suspect there's going to be objection on the other side.
Start the hour, please.
You want to start the first hour?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Recognize.
I'm going to yield to you without my time losing anything.
Okay?
Just for comments.
Okay?
The chair no.
Okay.
Just for comments. Would you talk for just a
certainly will,
minute?
certainly
As
will.
I appreciate it, Madam Chairman.
So I think it's a great thing that the governor has appointed Bud Kramer. Representative Kramer is an American politician, and you all may remember he served as a member of the United States House of Representatives.
What's that? He's former congressman, right?
Yes,
that's
former
what I thought. Yeah.
In 2008, he retired from Congress after 18 years representing Alabama's 5th District. During his time in Congress, he served on Appropriations, the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, Science, and Transportation, and he was also on the Infrastructure Committee. While he was on the Intelligence Committee, he was the chairman of the Intelligence Oversight and Investigation Subcommittee. And in 1994, he co-founded the Blue Dog Coalition, an influential group of conservative lawmakers, and he also served as the co-chairman of that group of Blue Dog Coalition. Since he's departed Congress, Mr. Kramer has been the managing director of FTI Consulting, vice chairman of a Washington, D.C.-based government relations firm, Capitol Hill Consulting Group, and he has also been the chairman of Wexler and Walker Public Policy Associates. So, former Representative Kramer is recognized for his work in aerospace and defense, criminal justice, intelligence, and on transportation issues. Having served on a number of relevant appropriation subcommittees, he's certainly been qualified for all of those things. And in 1998, the minority leader of the House appointed former Representative Kramer to the Open World Program Board of the Library of Congress. He has simultaneously been a I know that's very important to everybody up in Huntsville that he has been such a great advocate for NASA, and I think he's really been a big supporter and brought a lot of good things to that area in his support for NASA. In Congress, he co-chaired the Missile Defense and House Senate TVA caucuses. I know that those are things that are also very important to North Alabama. And by his support of missile defense and being on that TVA caucus, I know that he's been very, very supportive of a lot of big things that have been going on there in North Alabama. He also co-founded the Anti-Terrorism and Missing and Exploited Children caucuses. So those are also things I know that are not only very important to North Alabama, but to as our state as a whole. Prior to running for Congress, former Representative Kramer served as an elected DA for Huntsville, Madison County, Alabama. Again, he has really, really deep roots there in North Alabama. And in his role there, he founded the National Children's Advocacy Center, which provides comprehensive help for abused children. Again, a lot of good things he's done not only for North Alabama, but also for our state as a whole. And then looking at the National Children's Advocacy Center, which again is not only important just to North Alabama, but to the state as a whole, this program has served as a model for more than 800 centers in the United States and foreign countries. And any time that we can serve as a model for that many great things and just be not only a national best practice, but a world best practice for something that's doing something to help people so much, I think that is a really, really great thing. For his work on the National Children's Advocacy Center, former Representative Kramer was named National Public Citizen of the Year by the National Association of Social Workers, and the Washington Post called him a pioneering district attorney, praising this innovative program. So not only were we serving as a national and world leader in creating national child advocacy centers, by him getting the National Public Citizen of the Year by the National Association of Social Workers, and also the recognition from the Washington Post. I again think that's not only a great thing just for North Alabama, but for our state as a whole. I can tell you that he has just been really instrumental on a lot of things dealing with child advocacy centers. I specifically have a really, really strong child advocacy center in my district, and certainly appreciate all the work that they do for the children, not only for my district, but for the state as well.
Madam Chair.
Would you like to talk a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, I yield back to you.
Thank you. So how much time I got left on that? 51? 53? Okay, good. How much time? 14 hours? You said need now. That's all. I would tell you give it to me. I just said I need 14 hours. You know. Okay, so we got, Alabama, oh yeah. Congressman Kramer. Yeah, boy, he did a good job.
He did. That's what I was just telling all the people about.
Oh, you better listen to what she's saying. He did a great job. In fact, he was a great host. I went to D.C. and I went by his offices, and you know when he was in there, and I mean he was a great host. You know, he took care of me where I ought to go and different things of that nature. He just did a good job. And hey, he brought back some bacon here. Brought back some steaks too, not just bacon.
That's right.
He brought back some resources to this state that wouldn't wait.
We were just talking about the great advocate he has been for NASA, and also he founded the National Children's Advocacy Center, supporting the help for abused children.
Yes.
Not only national level, but foreign level. He was recognized and just got some really good PR, not only for North Alabama, but for our state as a whole because of his work with these child advocacy centers. And I was just saying, I have a child advocacy center in my district that does a lot of good work. I know that you have some in your district.
Sure do. Well, I'll tell you something else, though, and I didn't think about it, but you know, I try to give, I think you know I'm pretty consistent with this. I try to give organizations kudos that are sensitive to diversity, and you normally you're thinking about diversity. Not you, when I say you, normally you're thinking about diversity in terms of minorities having an opportunity to be a part of a process. Well, guess what? The same thing applies here. In the reverse, because Congressman Kramer is a minority to this board. You see what I mean? I had to say that a lot of times when I be talking about minority, I'm not talking about minority being a black person or something. I'm talking about you don't have representation from that segment of our society on there. In this case, this is Alabama A&M board. See? So they're having diversity the other way, you know, to make sure their board is diverse. In fact, I looked at their percentages, and they're right about close to 25%. of diversity on their board, of people who are not African American. I mean, so I just said that to say to everybody that the sensitivity is given for diversity versus just only because of whether you have a certain race. It's about diversity. And we also look at women as being a part of these boards so that they can be represented as well. And I'm to get it, once again, I'm gonna probably do this about 5 times. I get a chairman all the kudos for your hard work and your effort and
Appreciate your kind words. It's been my honor to be the chairman of the Confirmations Committee this year, and you've been very helpful to me as I've started that process, and I think we've had a good session and a very good committee as we got through all these.
And I can make you a promise, not that you need it from me, because if I said something, I'm gonna do everything I can to try to do it. But I can make you a promise when it comes from this mic, if we don't do nothing else today, we're gonna take care of the confirmations. I just want you to know that. So you ain't even got to worry about that being caught up in any of this. We gonna take care of this, and that's the one committee that you get a chance to interchange with so many people. So many. That screen time. But in this committee, probably every day for you, but I know every week you have such an interchange with people. And it takes somebody like you who are a people person, to be able to do that and be able to extract out of them what information you need to make a sound decision. You do that. And so just kudos.
I appreciate your kind words. You always give me flowers while I'm alive.
Yeah.
You always do, and I appreciate that. I've enjoyed working with you, and I know not only am I excited to hear that we're going to get through these confirmations, I think we have some people up there who are real excited to hear that their confirmations are going to
there's some people up there to be confirmed. They up there?
I know there are people that represent the people who are...
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't y'all worry. Don't worry. Now, you can't get back for lunch or nothing, but don't worry. You might, hopefully you all get home for dinner. I'm gonna have to eat mine in here. I'm gonna have to go in that little break room right there and take about 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna have to go in there and eat something when it's the right time. But I didn't even get a chance to eat the little breakfast they gave us, the little sausage, biscuit, whatever it is like that. It's on my desk now in there. I wasn't thinking about bringing it. They brought me this water, and I really need to be drinking water,
I noticed that my colleague brought you one, but he didn't bring me one.
Oh, no, I'll bring you one. Oh, okay. Oh, you got the real thing over there.
I went and got me one if I'm going to have to keep up with you today. I heard you say you were going to get a Mountain Dew, so I just went ahead and got me one too.
Oh, well, that is good. You saw me, I was getting ready to bring that water over there. And see, hey, my mama would crawl in the grave if I didn't be a gentleman and do what I'm supposed to do when it comes to a lady. And I want to say this. That's something that sometimes that my colleagues as men, not colleagues as senators, but as men, we sometimes, that in spite of how strong a lady is or how much of a leader she is, we sometimes block out the fact that she wants a little chivalry too. It ain't about her being whatever like that, because she wants still that element of being treated just like that lady should be treated. And you have to tell them that sometimes, because they sum it up to say, oh, she's a strong lady, she, well, you like this, but no, wait a minute. When you come out of this arena, she wants you to open the door. She wants you to, those kind of things. She wants you to be a gentleman, and so that's what I have to kind of talk men, just like y'all talk, men talk, and that's the kind of thing sometimes I share to some of my friends, when I say friends, associates, is that I have to tell them, I said, look, you still shivering dead. You still got to do the things you do. And better yet, you know how it is. I said, you got to do the same thing you did to get her to keep her. That's what I tell them. I said, no, you can't abandon that after you get, well, that's what got her, because of the way that you are, you know, and so I just thought I'd say that, you know, and
I appreciate your kind words.
yeah.
Tell you, everybody in this legislature has always been very kind, and I certainly appreciate my camaraderie with my three ladies in here who are in your caucus. You know, I'm the only woman in my caucus, and I'll tell you, my caucus is always very kind to me, and I tell them all the time, it's like I don't want to be treated differently. I just want to be one of the boys most days. So everybody's been very, very kind to me, and it has been, I guess, my first official full session here in the Senate. I came in the special election in 21, but it's been a really, really great time for me, and again, have always enjoyed working with the people on my committee, and I have a great confirmations committee, and they vet these candidates very good and always bring a lot of really good information back to the confirmations committee, and just appreciate you guys being so thorough. And when I say guys, men and ladies, and just appreciate all of you always bringing back good information, and we're vetting these candidates good and make sure we have the right people serving in these places for the people of Alabama.
Well, thank you, and some of them don't realize, so I'm gonna go on and tell them. This is our chairman, and I just happen to have the golden opportunity to serve on a committee as a committee person. So they probably think we just chit-chat. They don't know. I work behind your leadership on that committee, so I want them to know that it's not just a comment here, but every week we work together in that. And so when you hear me say that, it's another little phrase I use. I said, I don't have to with you, but I'll say it like this. See, she's been road tested. She's solid. You ain't got to worry about my chairman over there. She done been tested through the whole circumstance of the situation, and you came out with flying colors. Now, what is he doing? What is he doing now? I know he's out. Is he just kind of consulting, or is he in politics?
Yeah, according to this, you know, he retired from Congress in 2008 after 18 years, and he is now managing director at FTI Consulting, government relations firm.
Okay. Oh, that is good then. That is good. Where is he staying in the state? You know.
I would assume it would be in North Alabama, near
Okay.
Huntsville. I don't know that for sure, but based on things that I have, I would assume it's.
You know, I see the senator back there from Huntsville.
Have an address that's in Huntsville, so I assume it's Huntsville.
Okay, I see the senator back there in Huntsville. I want to ask him if he got any problem with us annexing the Space Center into Birmingham. I knew I'd get you out that seat. I
I don't know what you said, but
I said, would he mind if I would annex the Space Center into Birmingham?
no, that ain't happening, my friend.
I didn't think it really was.
Now, if we want to go ahead and take the city of Huntsville limits further south and hit up about Gardendale, that'll be pretty good too, I think.
At least you haven't mercy on me. You didn't say take Birmingham.
No, you know, we've got our limits of what we can handle. We figure Gardendale's about it.
All right, well, good deal. I ain't gonna call no name, but I've quickly got a signal from 2 Jefferson County senators that said, don't let him come in Jefferson County. Don't let him come in the county. Oh, but yeah, I'll tell you something. You have to be dedicated, really dedicated to go to Congress. You really do. I mean, because think about this. You are gone for 6 months of a year from your family. I mean, gone. You know, you can't afford to fly back every weekend. You can't afford it. So you gone. And I'm gonna tell you something. You did the little bit that we do down here, like have to stay a couple nights like this, and then we get, like today, eventually we're gonna get a chance to go home you know, and then we're home on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays and Mondays, you know, then you can imagine how it is staying here and staying in a hotel, or some folk got a house, but still staying there in a hotel. And the moment you think about this is about when you come in and you realize out of all these activities that we've been doing or got to do, then all of a sudden that you're in a dinky room by yourself, no family, no nothing, and it's late and probably half your family sleep somewhere, so you really can't get on the phone. Now, it's no problem. You know, this is bearable because, you know, in my case, y'all know how I am. If I'm sitting there and I get a little feeling like that, I drive right on back to Birmingham, you know, in a heartbeat. Y'all know that. I just walk right out, look, I see y'all tomorrow, I'm going on home. So, you know, because it's only an hour and 20 minutes. But in Washington, I can't get in no car and drive an hour and 20 minutes. So what happened was I had to go up to Washington because the same time they have the CBC, which is Congressional Black Caucus, we have our board of directors meeting because on the National Black Caucus of State Legislators, I'm a board member, a national board member. So we had come out of board meeting, and I'm standing on the corner trying to get a cab, you know, to get back to the thing. And I said, back to the hotel, and I sat there for a minute, and that's when I really made up my mind. I said, do you want to be up here, standing on the corner, trying to catch a ride, only to go back to this dinky hotel room, ain't nobody in there but you. You know, I said, do you want to do that 6 months out the year, 7 days out the week? I said, no, I said, because it takes some dedication of your time. I mean, this takes dedication of our time. But imagine that's all you can do. Can't have no other business. You ain't gonna see your family. I'll tell you a little story about that. A friend of mine, when I said friend, because I met him on the golf course. And by the way, I have to say it like this because I don't want folks to think, I ain't a member of no country club. Nothing like that. Never have been in my life. I'm a public golf course man. So we talking about the one like at Roebuck, owned by the city, municipal public golf course. Nothing fancy about it. I was out there playing and met this man out there. A couple of them, we started playing together. So we got to be friends. That we would play. So we'll be out next Saturday, let's play, that kind of friend. He told a story about his dad was a truck driver. And he said that his dad was gone lengths of time, like I'm gonna use these 6 months over here I was talking about, but gone. He was playing in the living room, and he said he had that old-timey screen door where you put the little hook on the, you know, the little ring and the screen wire. He said, this man came up to the door and knocked on the door. He said he looked at this man. He said, and when he looked at this man, he ran back into the kitchen. And the reason he ran back in the kitchen because he told his mama, he said, mama, mama, mama. He said, there's a man at the door. And his mama said, okay. She came out the kitchen and walked to the door and she started laughing. And she said, son, she said, that's your daddy. He coming home. You know, he coming home. His daddy be gone so long, he ain't recognize his daddy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You gone for 6 months, you gonna miss all activities. You just gonna miss that life of them kids for half of a year, every year. And one thing I'm here to tell you, you can't get it back. You can't come in 6 months later and now you want to raise them. And they've been allowed to do things by the other parent a certain way. Now you want to come in and change. It's too late. You can't. All you can do is support that other parent. You can give advice, but you're not going. And you don't want the other 6 months to be all confusion, because you're trying to retrain somebody or untrain them from what the other spouse may or may not have done. So you have to think about all that when you take these different positions, you know, whatsoever. Now, they are getting a great access to having him on the board. He's going to be able to bring a lot of good input and a lot of good things for their school to be connected to, and it's invaluable, the information and institutional knowledge he has to be able to secure the resources to help their school as they move forward. Would you start talking a little bit? I'm yield for conversation.
So here we are again talking about former Representative Kramer. Excuse me, my voice is just about gone. I've done a lot of talking this session. So hoping that we can get Representative Kramer done today. I'm good. I know that we have a lot of bills that are important to a lot of people on the calendar, and we do want to get through all these confirmations because it's important that we have all these people on these boards doing the good work, not only for these boards that they represent, but for the people of Alabama. We have 15 to do today, and we're on number 2. So I noticed you took him water a little while ago. You didn't bring me one. I'm just kidding. We have 13 more to go after this, and I have every confidence that we're going to get through them today and get these people working and doing what they need to do for the state of Alabama. Again, I know former Representative Kramer is a great addition to the Alabama A&M board, and he will do good things. He's done good things for North Alabama, done good things for the state of Alabama.
Mr. President, I'll dialogue with him, but I don't want to lose nothing.
You're not losing anything.
Okay.
All right, don't worry about that.
You go right on, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So we're talking about former Congressman Bud Kramer from the 5th District, who has got an outstanding resume and can do an excellent job at Alabama A&M. We're excited about the possibilities. I know Alabama A&M's excited about the possibilities of him coming on there, and he will make an excellent trustee, as the case may be. We have a number of years of experience together, and as he was a congressman from the 5th District that represented Jackson County, and as I was a leader, or tried to be a leader in my community, we had lots of engagement in the time, and he understands the environment, the political world there. So the congressman says, as the chairman had said, the committee has an excellent reputation, as much as an extensive background with the creation of the Children's Advocacy Center there in Huntsville and across the state and others. It's expanded to many different counties across Alabama and across not only Alabama but the United States. He was very proactive in the the base realignment that helped Huntsville in the 90s and in the 90s on into the 2000s. As he was there with the BRACs, he was working very hard to help with Missile Defense Command in there in Huntsville. Also, the Marshall Space Flight Center do some different things that they've been able to do, and a big advocate of the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. The congressman has worked with many different groups throughout the Tennessee Valley region and the Washington region to help bring funds back to Alabama and back to Alabama A&M, helping them as the need may be with other things. I think this is a great nomination, and hopefully we'll be able to confirm the congressman here in a short time frame. I know there's some conversation going on across the aisle about how we can move forward, and we're working on that there. So I hope everybody enjoyed our little sine die party last night. I hope we get to sine die tonight. It was fun. It was great having folks together, and great food and fellowship and friendship. So, the congressman, as I said, has an extensive dialogue. Member of the Blue Dogs in Congress, and back when he was there, he currently works for a consulting group called FTI. Had worked extensively with, he had worked extensively with the nuclear development of the company that was trying to purchase Bellefonte nuclear plant there in Scottsboro and bring it online. Unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. We had some significant issues there. We currently have some significant issues with our power providers. They're unable to meet the requirements of industrial development now in the valley, and we're working to help clean that up and make sure they can take care of what they need to in the Tennessee Valley. And hopefully, Governor, he'll work with us on our eelgrass situation that we have in our river and help us get that cleaned up. TVA has a significant problem there that they have to work on. I could say some things I probably shouldn't say about that, but anyway, there's a big Lake Guntersville stakeholders group that's working on that. I know the congressman's very much aware of that in the time frame, as is Congressman Strong, and we continue to work to make sure our waters are navigable and clean, and our fishermen have plenty of fish to catch out of the lake. That's probably the #1 lake in the country for bass fishing. So it's important that we take care of that and make sure things are good there. So, but again, the congressman had helped us with TVA in the past, and he's really good to work with us in that regard, and many other things. He's active in the Huntsville area now with some of the major firms that are there that do defense and technology work. As you know, the base there in Huntsville is based around defense and technology and aerospace, and lots of engineering going on there. There's lots of local companies that have done quite well that have been able to been on the breaking edge of some things that are happening. So we're excited about that. And of course, even with Hudson Alpha, the research company there in Huntsville, we feel like at some point in time in the future, maybe that we'll be able to find a cure to cancer, and it might be at Hudson Alpha, it might be at Southern Research, and Lord knows we need to find that cure, because it's been 10 years ago that I lost my wife to cancer. So TVA has been a real dominating factor on the Tennessee Valley since its creation back in the early 1900s or 1930s, and it did a lot of flood control, done a lot of good that they've done. And the congressman was a huge supporter of TVA, and we've got some work we've got to do there, and I hope we understand that and hope they understand that. So TVA has the they have the ability to do some great things if we just get focused in the right direction with the local communities as we move forward. So back to Congressman Kramer a little bit, I should say. Thank you, Senator. I appreciate that. I'm not sure that that's applicable in this case, however, but thank you. A little humor, okay, sorry. Very little, but that's okay. There could always be a repeal. Congressman Kramer, go back to him, it would be a tremendous asset on this board at Alabama A&M with his knowledge of depth of folks that he knows in the community, and the depth that he knows in the DC community. And I can see where he would be a tremendous asset to anybody that would bring him on board and use him. And It's just, again, a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of invaluable contacts in any community across the country, especially dealing with aerospace and defense. And, of course, the Children's Advocacy Center, easy for me to say, in his contacts around. And I'm not sure we're making any progress across the way there. I'm doing good. Well, just like your appointment to the Ethics Commission, somebody's knowledgeable and understands what we do. So thank you for being willing to serve there also. So. Miss April has lots of good notes here, so it's good. So. In the Congressman's term, he served on the Appropriations and the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, Science, Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. I think it was an asset in helping get I-565 built through Huntsville, connecting downtown Huntsville to Decatur and into I-65, which needs 3-laning, of course, right, Governor? So we need to make sure we get that done some point in time. Traffic's heavy enough on there now, and these interstates that run into the dead end into 2-lane highways need to be, or 4-lane highways need to be fixed where they run into a red light and places like that. So we need a little work in some places, but we'll eventually get there. It just takes time, just takes a lot of money. Unfortunately, road building is not a cheap project nowadays, and especially when bridges are involved, as my friend from the Go Mesa territory would acknowledge, it's fairly expensive to do things like that nowadays. So, our friends at Alabama A&M are anxious to get their confirmations done. I had a note from them last night and tried to reassure them that they would be handled today, and I think they will be handled today. We're just trying to get through some delicate moments here. So. You know, prior to Congressman Kramer serving in the United States House of Representatives, he was a district attorney there in Huntsville, Madison County, and his wife, and he lost his wife to cancer also, but they have a daughter and grandkids that all live there now. I think his work in the Children's Advocacy Center has grown from not only Huntsville, Alabama as the base of it, but it's grown to some 800 community-based centers around the United States, and has been the model role for that in many other countries around to do that. The congressman is a University of Alabama graduate and Alabama Law School graduate. Again, he had a tremendous career in Congress, served as long as he wanted, and decided to come home and go into private practice to go into there in D.C. Has worked extensively since then, working with our Aerospace and Defense Command units there in Huntsville and communities, and Hudson Alpha, like I've mentioned several times before, making sure that we're on the cutting edge of things in Huntsville, and I think we are. I think we are in Birmingham. I think we are here in Montgomery and Mobile and other communities around the state. As we work hard to get where we go, and this coalition across the way is growing bigger as we talk. So. Congressman, in addition to working with NASA and the National Science Foundation, he co-chaired the Missile Defense and House Senate TVA caucuses. He co-founded an anti-terrorism caucus and Anti-Terrorism and Missing and Exploited Children Caucus, which parallels his work with the Children's Advocacy Center that is just there in Huntsville. And as I mentioned earlier, the 800 centers that have been developed around the United States and around the world, several countries. He's been named as the National Public Citizen of the Year by the National Association of Social Workers. And the Washington Post called him what would be a pioneering district attorney, praising the innovative program that he's established. The congressman would, as I said many times before, would make an excellent trustee at the University at Alabama A&M. I'm excited about what some things that Alabama A&M's got going. They have been working with Auburn on a project called the Graham Farm in Jackson County. It's down in Pine Rock Valley, which had a little damage last night from some of the storms, or this morning from some of the storms passing through North Alabama. But the Graham Farm was a 500-acre farm that was donated by the family to Auburn University and to the I've got the acronym of the program, but basically Auburn and A&M share this farm. It's a working farm. It's where they can bring children out on buses and take them, show them down in the fields how the local farmers are growing the crops, how they're moving cattle from one field to another, keeping a working farm there. And it's in a beautiful setting. They've developed walking trails there that go up on the mountain. Just a gorgeous little community that not a community, but a little homestead that they've got there, and it works real well. Going to use it for education sciences, for the agriculture, and there is a dedication ceremony next Friday morning where the president, Dr. Wims from the University of Alabama A&M will be there, and Dr. Roberts, the president of Auburn University, will be there to dedicate this farm that was donated by the family, and it was some 500 acres, and Auburn and the Extension Service has decided to keep it and operate this as kind of a working farm for an experimental proposition. So she said, keep going. Okay. I've rambled about enough, but in addition to this farm there's another farm that's adjacent that is primarily mountain land that is a tremendous research project for Nature Conservancy. There's some 4,500 acres that's contiguous nearby that has a tremendous amount of natural resources on it in regards to it's a piece of property that has not been cut timber-wise, whether for value-added product. And then when they say value-added product, it would be a place that had perhaps been homesteaded a number of years ago, and they had a patch of cleared land where they raised a garden, raised a little corn, and might have used the corn and some other things to add value to it to sell or barter with their neighbors, as it's kind of at the end of the world. And the forest is absolutely gorgeous. They have a 120-acre tract that has north sun, south sun, east west sun, all segments of sun, and they've gone inside that tract and have for a couple of 3 years now. They've been identifying all the plant life in that tract that lies in this 120 acres. Have identified what it is, have labeled it and tagged it, and have geocoded into the computer, and they're going to watch the growth of this tract for some 50 years. Interesting thing is they've discovered some really interesting wild plant life that's on there that is unique to that area. They don't know why it grows there when it doesn't grow in other places of the world, and they're trying to determine that, and we'll be watching that for a number of years to come as it does a fantastic job with helping us in the sciences and all. So,
you know, it's very rewarding to be able to help an institution become all it can be. And as I said earlier to him, about Congressman Kramer. He knows who you got to go see. It's just like a grant for universities. He know which agencies that they done appropriated the money to that fits the cause or whatever it is. If it was transportation, he know it may be a certain amount in the transportation department budget. It's for intermodal we know I'm just using the word intermodal transfer,
Right.
which is in a small area that the school, because of the number of students, may qualify to be able to get that money. He's going to bring all kind of assets of information to that school, and they're blessed to have him on there.
They will be blessed to have him on there.
Yeah, they will be. They will be. Oh, we gonna do it. We gonna do it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they gonna be blessed. We gonna do it. You know, this, like I said, this gonna be a very good day. I feel it. I feel it. You know. Sometimes I'm gonna tell you something. What happened? I cook breakfast most of the mornings when I'm at home.
Yeah.
Now I can tell you this. That don't get me wrong. I was spoiled. I was spoiled for 41 years of my life. Because see, when I got married, we made a vow to say that each one of us could ask for one thing that the other one had to honor through this marriage. Hers was, she said, don't move me too far away from my mom. So until her mother passed, we only stayed 6 blocks from her mom. And mine was, because I am a country boy that comes city, I'm used to having a full breakfast every morning. I'm talking about grits, bacon, sausage. And for the people in South Alabama, Conecuh, Mr. Minority Leader, Conecuh, and all of that.
Do you want to do this? Do you want me to confirm it? Come up. Do you want to do it before you go? If you'll let me, I don't know, whatever you need to do, so. So, Senator, while you're chatting, you're 100% correct. He does know where the money is, and it can help any university, and particularly this one in this instance. He's has a wealth of knowledge of people and places that he needs to be in. So, and where the connections are.
Yeah, getting back to what I was saying. Yeah, so a full breakfast. Grits, sometimes rice, sometimes oatmeal. Even though I would eat waffles interfere with me because I always like biscuits, and that 2 sets of bread, sort of. I don't want to eat that much bread, so I like biscuits. But now, since that time, I flipped the script because not because I was asked, not because it wasn't being done. But I just felt the need to change it, and because I can cook pretty good, so I did that. But the point I was making was that I got me a new stove top. I got one of them kind that heats up just like that. And what I found out was that although it heats up quick and it'll cook quick, you still have to cook it at a certain pace if you want to cook all the way through. Because you know how bacon is. You have that meat part of the bacon lean, we might call fat, but that part, and it's not gonna cook at the same pace as the lean. But if you got a lower temperature, the lean won't get too crunchy, and the fat part will cook. And so that's why you have to be deliberate, and you can't go but a certain pace. That's the way it is up in here. We can't go but a certain pace because we got to make sure each piece of the meat is cooked. And that's, that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make sure that each piece of this meat right here is cooked. And it's cooked in the way that it should be cooked. So I think that, we're moving at a good pace. What time we come in at 9? How much time we got left on this one? Yeah, that's about right. We came in at 9:30, our hour is 10:30. We're on the second one from around 10:30, 10:35, about 11:30. Yeah, we on good pace. I like the pace we going. We staying right on point, Now, sometimes you all know that at the, when you are coming into the train, not station, I don't know what you call it, when you have, well, not passenger trains, but when you have like cargo train. I know. We may have to get to a point that we come into what's called the switching station. The switching station, where you see tracks that start out at one track, and then you see about 4 tracks because the train has got to get out the way for another train to come. So right now, we riding this train, but we may have to park it a little bit and get on what's called the local bill train, and then move with that train a little bit, and then we may have to move that train over, and then we either may have to come back to the train we on now, or we may have to, the calendar's another train. But the key thing is that long as we are not in sunset, I think that's right, we have the kind of flexibility to move to whichever train that we have to and move back to another train. So, it takes a smart mind and strategic mind to do that so that we can move from those trains to the other ones, but not necessarily take them off the track. All right?
Well, I am excited.
Great minds do that. I'm standing by one of them great minds right here that he's working to figure out how to do that. So if you'll keep talking, I'm going to get schooled and educated.
I have every confidence that the great minds are about to get these trains moving on down the track, and I know that we have a lot of work to do today, and it's very important that we get all these trains moving down the track. So I know there's a lot of great minds working on a lot of stuff right now, and hopefully we're going to have all the trains going in the right direction very, very, very soon. It's important that we get these.
I know. Senator Smithman, you care if we recognize some special guests in the gallery? All right. I'm going to let Senator Gudger do it. He's got some people he wants to recognize. And
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate you allowing me to do it. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, we got some special guests from Coleman, Alabama down here today, and so I wanted to make sure that we recognize them in the gallery. But the Coleman City Schools Superintendent Kyle Koloff, would you please stand for us, sir? Thank you for being here today. Along with him is Anna Hill and Maddie Doyle. Ladies and gentlemen, today they are Coleman High Career Tech students who were recognized this morning from the State Department, State Board, and for winning first place at the Future Teachers of Alabama's state competition. I just wanted to say congratulations, ladies. We're so glad you're here. And their instructor, Mr. Ben Heatherly. Would you please stand for us also, Ben? Thank you so much, my friend. That's it. He's the instructor of the Career Tech at Coleman High. Guys, thank y'all for being here. We really appreciate you coming down. Congratulations, ladies.
Great to have you all at the Alabama Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, Senator Gudger.
Mr. President?
Yes, Senator Smithman.
I'm ready to keep talking.
Oh, you got it.
Think how much time we have? Huh? Okay. Now, if you had something to say, I wasn't trying to cut you off.
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. I just, look here, I respect women now. I want y'all to know that. I respect ladies. I wouldn't dare do something like, hey, this conversation, I have to look this way, okay, because of our protocol. But I'm really talking to the superintendent up there. The superintendent just being introduced. And the future teachers, the two ladies. We just passed a bill, Mr. Superintendent, we just passed a bill dealing with first grade readiness. And you're gonna be dealing with a pilot program that kids who's supposed to go in K that doesn't, that go straight into first grade, initially in 2 years, if they don't pass that test, they may have to go back to K. The ones who didn't go to K and going straight there. The reason we got a 2-year window and 1 year pilot is because you are gonna have to do a heck of a PR job to let folks know what's gonna happen if those kids are not ready. And you're gonna have to get ready for K, because you should have a more influx of K. If you need some more money, we gonna help you get the money, okay? I want you to know that. Your senator is gonna help, and I'm gonna help him. But you get first-hand knowledge since you down here of that bill and what's getting ready to take place. The reason I said those young ladies, because they may be at that point teaching or whatever they're doing, and they may be involved with it too. So I just want you to know that the State Department is gonna help you. They got money for the PR, okay? But you may need instructional materials to enhance. You're not gonna lose a teacher unit, nothing. No matter whether that shift, you won't lose nothing. That's in the bill, we assured that. So you can tell them you got first-hand knowledge right on the bat, and we appreciate you, okay? All right. At this time, Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna yield to the chairman for her to do whatever she wanna do with this confirmation here.
The motion to confirm Mr. Kramer to the Alabama A&M Board of Trustees.
Using previous role?
Previous role.
That's fine.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Strawbritton, Mr. Williams.
32 ayes, 0 nays. Bud Kramer's confirmed.
Mr. President.
Senator Reed.
Mr. President, at this point, I would like to carry over the confirmations. Okay, so there's not any more here at the time, so we've already taken care of that. All right, sir. And then we've got some House messages that I want to deal with at this time.
All right, Secretary, call the first House message.
SB 33.
Message from the House, Mr. President. The House of Representatives has amended as therein shown and as amended has passed the following Senate bill and returns same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 33 by Senator Elliott relating to public K-12 and public 2-year institutions of higher education. Signed, John Treadwell, Clerk.
Mr. President, I'm going to make a motion that we concur using the previous role.
All right, any objection?
I just have one question. Can I be recognized?
Sure.
What the bill do? I mean, I'm a vote for it. I just want to know when you say K through 12, anybody know what it does? Is he in here? The senator in here? That's all right. Just go right on. Because, I mean, I don't want to hold up that part because he's not here at the moment. Go right on.
So
I yield back.
I'll renew my motion with the previous role.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Strawbritton, Mr. Williams.
33 ayes, 0 nays. The Senate concurs. All right, Senator Reed, do you want to do another House message?
Yes, sir.
All right, Secretary, call the next House message.
Message from the House, Mr. President. The House of Representatives has originated and adopted the following House joint resolution and ordered same sent forthwith to the Senate. House Joint Resolution number 291 by Representative Hulk Jones, creating the Alabama Coastal Commercial Insurance Joint Interim Study Commission. Signed, John Treadwell, clerk.
Mr. President,
Senator Reed.
I would make a motion that we concur with the joint resolution using the previous row.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted. All right. Do you want to do another House message?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Secretary, call next House message.
Report of the Committee on Conference. We, the Committee on Conferees, appointed to reconcile the difference between the two houses concerning Senate Bill number 137, have met, considered the matter, and agreed to the attached conference committee substitute respectfully submitted Senators Gudger, Singleton, and Elliott on the part of the Senate, and Representatives Wilcox, Robbins, and Rafferty on the part of the House.
Mr. President,
Senator Reed.
I'd make a motion that we concur using the previous row.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
33 ayes, 0 nays. The Senate concurs on Senate Bill 137. All right. Senator Reed, another House message?
Yes, sir.
All right, Secretary, go to the next House message.
Report of the Committee on Conference. We, the Committee of Conferees, appointed to reconcile the difference between the two houses concerning Senate Bill number 122, have met, considered the matter, and agreed to the attached conference committee substitute respectfully submitted Senators Kelly and Elliott, conferees on the part of the Senate, and Representatives Wilcox, Lawrence, and Butler, conferees on the part of the House.
All right, Senator Reed.
Mr. President, make a motion that we concur using the previous row.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
33 ayes, 0 nays. The Senate concurs on Senate Bill 122. Secretary, call next House message.
Message from the House. Mr. President, the House of Representatives has amended as therein shown and is amended as passed the following Senate bill and returns same herewith to the Senate. Senate Bill number 226 by Senator Allen relating to motor vehicles. Signed, John Treadwell, clerk.
Mr. President, motion to concur using previous row.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton. Mr. Williams.
33 ayes, 0 nays. The Senate concurs on Senate Bill 226. All right.
Mr. President, I think that concludes our messages at this point, and if I'm correct on the regular order, we now go to resolutions and then we'll go to local bills.
That's correct.
All right, sir. I'd like to continue with the regular order. Thank you, Mr. President.
We're on motions and resolutions. Do any members have any motions or resolutions?
Mr. President.
To ask that the Confirmations Committee now meets at the conference room.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to let the members know the Confirmation Committee will be meeting in the Secretary's conference room. Is that correct? All right, and that's right now? Okay. All the members hear that? All right, then we're on motions and resolutions. Does anybody have any motions or resolutions? Okay. All right. Now go to a local bill. Secretary, call the first local bill.
On page 29 of the calendar, House Bill number 388 by Representatives Standridge and Shedd regarding Blount County, BR pending.
Mr. President.
Senator, you're recognized.
Mr. President, this is a local bill for Blount County, and it involves the levying of a county excise tax on vapor products, vaping devices, and alternative nicotine products to provide for civil penalties for violation of the act and provide for the collection and distribution of the proceeds of this act. So I think where we're at now is in a time that we need to talk about these bills and talk about the details. There's a lot. I think we have 8 local bills that we'll be talking through today, and we'll go through all of them systematically. I think we are in a good shape to get them all done. It's just going to take us a while to get through them. So we can I know, as chairman of Local Bills, there's a lot of misconceptions about how local legislation works. So I'll probably take a little bit of time to talk about the process of how this particular bill made its way to this point, ready for final passage. As many of you know, those that are a little bit older, my age, maybe even a little younger, know the Schoolhouse Rock. And Schoolhouse Rock cartoon, you remember Cartoon Day? Cartoon Day was Saturday when I was a kid, and probably most everybody in this room, they knew what Cartoon Day was, but we didn't have cartoons on cable and 24 hours, and I'm good. We didn't have cartoons, Cartoon Network, cartoons, all on cable news, cable TV, that would go for hours and hours like we do now. Now you can just see about anything you want to on cable news, or cable TV, but also YouTube. And I'm sure the senator from North Alabama, if you're not gotten in tune with YouTube, I imagine your kids and grandkids are, and you can watch any cartoon you want anytime you want it.
Well, you're talking about the market, the local market. So we had some series of tornadoes that came through last night. And in the spring of this year, the Nielsen Ratings Company, which is FCC, makes a recommendation. The FCC moved Jackson County out of the Huntsville media market. So we were moved into the Chattanooga media market. And we got very, very little coverage out last night as these storms came through. We've got more coverage out of Birmingham, and we don't receive Birmingham television in Jackson County.
That's a real problem.
It's a real issue. We've been after them. Hopefully, we're going to get that flip-flop, but it's been a battle. It's more paperwork than you can see here on Senator Smitherman's desk, and necessary to do that. And it's been a real problem.
Why would they want to change it to the Chattanooga market?
They review those regularly. Our county is adjacent to not only Tennessee, but Georgia also, and a lot of the North Georgia market operates out of the Chattanooga market. And I would say the northern half of our county, northern third of our county probably operates out of that market. But so the citizens in the rest of the county are based on Huntsville News Market.
So I guess those radio waves, and they spread out from that antenna. They go out in a circular pattern. They don't stop at the state line. It kind of goes across those state lines.
I'm not sure how all that works. You're the engineer.
I'm not an electrical or electron engineer.
Even if you're streaming at home on television, the market's dominated by what Nielsen tells FCC, and our streaming is also Chattanooga News. You can catch the Huntsville market after that. 12 hours later. You can record the Huntsville market.
Well, that's no good when you got a storm bearing down on you.
And the storms don't come from the east; they always come from the west. So they're an hour behind us. So.
Generally southwest.
Or an hour in front of us, but so they don't get it for an hour until after it's passed through us, typically. So.
Wow, that's put y'all in a real bind.
It has put us in a real bind.
So is there hope to get that?
There is hope. Yes, there is hope. We've made application through the FCC and other folks to move us back into the Huntsville media market.
I mean, it's an emergency situation, life and death type situation, not just a convenience or what you're used to. It's bigger. It's bigger than that.
Absolutely. I mean, even the Doppler radars in Jackson County up in the high top community. So that's where all the Huntsville gets their images, not all their image, but they get their image from the National Weather Service, the Doppler, that's located in the high top community, which is, it's called high top for a particular reason. It's up high, got good visibility.
We kind of have a plane or a top
plane,
up there
on top Cumberland Mountain there, yeah. So, and the congressman we were talking about, Congressman Kramer was instrumental in getting that located there back with the National Weather Service. So, they were trying to take us to the Birmingham radar, and we just kind of ended up in a void there. And
Is that a little bit too far away?
A little bit too far away, yeah. And I'm sure radar's probably improved since that's happened, but by the same right,
I don't know. I think it's still the same old Doppler concept, so I imagine it's only effective for a certain distance.
but by the same right, it's been effective for us to have it there in our community and across Madison County, and they're west back in. It can reach across, back into the Shoals area, so it picks up a lot of radar, or a lot of area. Excuse me.
Yeah, we have a little bit of problem southwest of here with some gaps in the radar network, and don't always get as good information as we need. I mean, especially counties just to the west of us.
Yeah.
West and south is my understanding. So that's in this day and age, it sounds like seems like we would have, perfect, like from a satellite or something. But I don't know. Maybe that's not possible.
I'm sure the technology is changing, and it'll be there at some point in time in the future as we are getting more and more dependent on broadband, and the state has done a really good job. I think Senator Schofield led that challenge here for the state of Alabama, and has put us in a really, really good place. We've got some pockets of places that we're still having to work on. And more than pockets, we got a lot of places we got to work on. But
that's a good point, because to get these moving images, you got to have pretty good broadband, some bandwidth.
Bandwidth
to get that
right.
to come in a timely manner. The old dial-up, it take forever.
It took forever to answer it.
Yeah. I wish I could make that noise.
I was going to ask you. You remember listening to that, right?
I remember the very first time that I sent an engineering drawing. Now, this was CompuServe, and you had this long string of numbers was your address. It wasn't even letters. It was long string of numbers. I want to say maybe it was separated by a comma. I can't remember, but it was a long string of numbers. And I was in my office over in East Montgomery, and I sent a drawing to Alabama Graphics, just right down the road from here. And then by the time I got over there, they had already had it printed, and I picked it up. And that was like, man, that was breaking technology.
Pretty amazing.
I mean, I was just like, man, how do you do that? Yeah, that's kind of neat. But we've come a long way since then, and I mean, it is such a good thing that it has really permeated every fabric of our society. And obviously there's good and bad that comes with that. With anything, there's going to be good and bad. But the internet and email, I think of some of my friends who are missionaries to foreign countries, and now they can. It used to take weeks to communicate back home. Now, in a matter of seconds, they can communicate back home, even with video, if they have good enough service.
If you get to where you've got the bandwidth to send it, it's great. It's fantastic, and you can communicate around the world.
Yeah. But there's still areas, as you mentioned a minute ago, in Alabama where we have those gaps, and big gaps, not gaps, holes, big holes. And I know you, Senator Schofield, others have really led the charge on trying to fill those holes across the state, and have made a lot of progress.
We have made a lot of progress in Alabama.
But there's still a lot out there to do and to go. But especially on the backbone, all that I think is moving in place, and it's just a matter of filling in those holes.
As you get further into rural Alabama, it becomes a little more complicated. There are not many carriers or internet service providers there that have that look at that last mile. We've got to incentivize somebody to be in that place to help do that last mile.
Yeah, so
and we continue
in my area, you may go a mile, you may have 50, 60 houses. Go in the rural area, you might have one.
Might have one house.
Might have none to get two or three,
Right.
So it is a whole different game. I know the electric co-op in my area, Central Alabama Electric Co-op, they have done a phenomenal job.
All right, time's expired on the BR.
I move the BR using previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
32 ayes, 0 nays. The BR is adopted. Secretary, call the bill.
On page 29 of the calendar, House Bill number 388 by Representative Standridge relating to Blount County.
So with that, Mr. President, I will, I'll explain the bill further and we'll dialogue further. I hope you got your little refreshment and got off your feet for a minute and ready to go. So once again, this bill is a bill that's related to Blount County, and it is a.
I'm gonna yield at the time to the sponsor of the bill because he wants to.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let him go right on and do his thing.
I just want to thank you for bringing this up. I was out of the room at confirmations meeting. Have you already explained it once, I think?
No, I haven't. I was waiting on you.
Oh, you don't wait on me.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. Don't roll back there.
I get to explain.
we got to talking and got off subject a little bit, but anyway, mic's open for you to explain the bill. And
I thought I heard you explain it back there, but I mean, I was going to move for final passage using previous roll, but if you, I don't want to do that if you.
No, we're not ready for that. We're gonna have to talk a little while longer. So I guess I'll have to explain the bill. You want to explain the bill? Come on, explain the bill.
Yeah, this is a local tax on that is going to help us pay for our resource officers in Blount County in our schools. We can't afford to have a resource officer in every school, and that's the goal of this. It's on vape products, and we've got an agreement with. There's a statewide bill I think coming up. Senator Gudger has, and if that passes, then we've got an agreement to. Not let this go any further.
Okay.
But we want to get it out of here in case of that.
Yeah.
In case the statewide bill has a problem later today, which you never know how the rest of the day is going to go.
Today is one of them days that you just don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. It could be, we could get nothing done. We could go through many bills. Me and you've been here long enough. We've seen where we've passed 70, 80 bills in an hour at the end of a session.
My guess
that kind of gets scary.
My guess is we're going to do some of both.
That's right.
Is my guess.
Yeah. And, I know Senator Gudger doesn't want to mess with my local bill because it's local courtesy, That means I don't mess with yours, you don't mess with mine.
I guess Senator Gudger might need a lesson in local courtesy. Is that what we're saying?
I took him out back and showed him.
Let me look earlier. Let me look ahead and see if we're going to be able to give him a lesson today in local courtesy. Yeah, he's one of them city councilors that thinks that this place is like the city council, and you just come up here and you can do this and you can do that, but there's a little bit. This process is a little more involved, a little more detailed, and local courtesy is a big thing. Might as well talk about local courtesy since we're on local bills, and that'll keep us germane. We can also talk about the local bill process so that we can stay germane to this local bill. I think it's interesting that there's a statewide bill and a local bill. So this must be kind of something that's up and coming if we got kind of competing, or I guess maybe not competing. If the statewide one, you said if it passes, you're not going to do this one?
Right. This one will be the only county that has this, but if the statewide, there will be no need for this. So that's, but this is just in case we don't do the statewide. And if you don't mind, the other day when I was up here for hours, I started mentioning my schools in Blount County that, and I got distracted and didn't get to finish. So, and this affects every school in Blount County. So I wanted to go back. If you don't mind, can I just
So how many schools do you have?
Oh, goodness. I can name them, but let's see. We got Locust Fork.
Hey, I did that one time, and I left out one.
Well, the other day I didn't leave out any. I got
not good.
Distracted and getting to finish. So do you mind if I finish that today?
Go ahead. I'll try not to distract you.
Yeah, don't distract me. We got Locust Fork. We have Southeastern. We have Hayden. We have Aniana, but it is not a Blount County school, so this won't affect that. We have Susan Moore, which is not in my district, J.B. Pennington, which is not in my district, Representative Kitchens, and then we have Appalachian and Cleveland. Oh, man, I almost forgot one. I think I got them all. I
didn't interrupt you, so if you miss one,
yeah,
it ain't
if
my
I missed
fault.
one, it's not that I forget, it's just I didn't pay attention to which ones I was naming. So and that's what this bill will do. It'll help.
Run out of fingers, you couldn't
Yeah,
count.
it's going to help pay for a resource officer in all of our schools because Blount counties cannot afford to do that right now. They're sharing resource officers, between like three schools, and that's not a great thing. Something happens and you're half a mile away. What are you going to be able to do? So
Yeah, the chance of the resource officer being in the right place at the right time is severely diminished.
Yeah,
when you have to travel, because probably the schools are not right down the street from each other.
Yeah, some of them are close, but then again, some of them there's a lot of distance between the schools. And so I think Senator Smithman, he's always about protecting the children. So I know he likes this bill. He's very much for Blount County being able to do this and pay for our resource officers.
So what do you think has changed from when you and I were in high school, and maybe you, others, we come to school with our rifles in our back window of our pickup trucks, and
Man, we're showing our age there, Clyde. We remember
we are.
used to, everybody just drive in the parking lot with the rifle in the back of the truck. It's a
been
different
hunting
world.
that morning, come out of the woods, go to school, go hunting that afternoon, and something's changed.
A lot has changed. Hey, you got in a fight, you shook hands later that day, or you got over it. It didn't carry on any longer than that. It's kind of over. So, a lot has changed. You're showing our age, Clyde. We're really, really old. It's been, 30, how many years since I've been out of high school? I think it's 32 years since I've been out of high school. No, more than that. Dadgum. I'm getting old. I think I'm not as old as some in here, though. We won't mention that. And again, this is a local bill that's going to help out our children, protect our children. And I know all the senators in here are for looking out after our children. We don't want any kind of horrible thing that's happened across this country to happen to any of our children anywhere in the state. And I especially don't want anything to happen bad to our children in Blount County.
So this would provide some resources, some revenues to pay for those. Do you know about how much a school resource officer costs per year?
Golly.
I ain't trying to put you on the spot. I don't know exactly either.
I would know it, when you start factoring in the car, the health insurance, everything, uniforms, everything. It's got to be at close to 100,000, I would think.
I would think.
Maybe. I was shared the figures when we went over this, but I don't have them at the top of my head. And we just talked about how old I am. I'm starting to forget some things that I used to not forget.
That's right, and you probably were relying on local courtesy and not. You would have to deal with all this.
That's right. Usually local courtesy. They leave you alone on these local bills. I'm scared. We got an attorney coming up here. Let's see what.
President, can I dialogue with Senator for a minute? On this bill, will the money flow through the county commission to pay the SRO officers and go through the sheriff's department?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any county commissioners that are now senators that are recognized, like Senator Elliott gets his own magazine?
Man, that's impressive. He's on the cover.
That magazine comes in our offices this week.
Did the county commissioners vote on that?
He's a former county commissioner down there, and I guess they're recognizing him.
Wow. Even
got it signed. Here's the problem, though. See the article starting on page 9? It's only 8 pages in the magazine. He should have given them a little more money for that, so they'll have page 9. But I don't know what happened. Probably gonna get some payback on that. The SRO is very important. It's a shame we have to have those. It's a crying shame that kids cannot go to school and parents, not worry about them like it was back in our days. And I think a lot of it starts at home.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, the parents don't take responsibility. Back when we were in school, if you got in trouble, whether you should have gotten in trouble or not, you got home, you got a belt whipping because you should not even caught the attention of the teacher. They never asked what you did. The parents didn't. We got disciplined. We knew we was going to get disciplined. Now, heck, kid gets to school at home. Gets to school. They get home, tell their parents. Parents want to go whoop the teacher. I mean, that's
true.
And I don't know how you change that.
And while I got you up here, St. Clair County, and I should know this, and I'm sure you do. Do we have an SRO officer in every one of our schools?
Every school has an SRO.
That's good. So we don't have
the cities and the counties worked together and did that several years ago, or 2 years ago, and so every school has them.
Yeah. So that's good.
Oh, plus it's good seeing the kids interact with the SRO officers.
I did get a report this week that in Jefferson County they pulled out a few of our schools, and I'm worried about that because lack of some officers. And so some of the cities, I think I heard from Gardendale, they've got a local police department, so they're going to cover for that. But in our rural areas, that's going to make it tough.
Well, it also gives the children the opportunity to learn the police officers are not always bad. Because sometimes they're raised and they think the officer is bad, and you get to watch them interact, get to watch the officers play ball with them, basketball and kickball. And I see pictures, we all rely on social media, but the police department, the sheriff department putting pictures up of what the SRO officers are doing with the children. And it's good to see that, and good to see the children surround them, smiling. They're picking on him, but you go to the grocery store and, your kids see that SRO officer in plain clothes and they're, hey, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so, and they're high-fiving. That's something good to see, that interaction.
Hey,
and we need to have that.
I was an old math teacher for 10 years, and I can tell you what, I go back in some of my schools. Yes, I did. That's scary, isn't it? But I can remember, I go in the schools now, and my whole family's a bunch of teachers, and I tell you what, one of the most popular people in the entire school is the SRO officer. And I'm glad they're there. My wife's a teacher. I broke up fights. I remember breaking up some fights, and I don't want my wife, I don't want any of those female teachers out there having to get in the middle of that. Even at the middle school level, some of those kids they're big. They can pack a punch.
I'm going to tell you something that go ask your superintendents. This is something, go ask the superintendent how many teacher assaults their school system has a year. That number will shock you. It's crazy that I can tell you in St. Clair County, we've had a broke hip and a broke arm this year already by a student on teachers. I mean, we should not have to worry about that. That's something that teachers should be able to be safe also. And, unfortunately, SRO has to get involved in those, but we should never have a teacher getting assaulted.
Right. It's a tough enough job without getting assaulted by students or parents or anything. Some crazy person coming from the outside. We don't want that to happen either.
Absolutely. You shouldn't have to worry about it.
That's right.
And I hope hopefully getting the SRO officers in your schools up there will make the parents feel safer where their kids are. It's just crazy we have to do that.
It's very important for our schools that we do this.
So I know you named them a while ago. Have you already thought what school you may have missed? Because if you name that many, you're going to miss one.
I can name them again. Let me see. You make sure. Hold on. Let me start. Geographic. We got Locust Fork. We got Southeastern. We've got Appalachian. We've got Susan Moore. We got Cleveland. We got Hayden. And then the ones I don't represent.
Don't leave one out.
J.B. Penney's. That's in Senator Kitchen's district. And Susan Moore's actually in his district too.
But you're going to claim them?
But we work together, Do
you have a football helmet in your office for them?
I do not. I got a football helmet for the ones I represent.
Okay, I was fixing to say you.
I don't know if he's picked up, I stole that from a very wise senator that did that in his office. I saw that idea, and it's a lot better to copy great ideas than come up with them. A lot easier anyway.
True. I hope you find better ideas from that senator than just that one.
That's probably the best idea I've ever seen him come up with so far in his short time here, but maybe he'll come up with a good idea.
It was good to walk in your office and see that you copied somebody. Just wasn't original. So you taught math. I did not know that.
Algebra 2, trig, taught a little college math, but all that stuff the kids love to hate. You have 30 kids in your class, and about 2 of them like it? Were you one of those kids that would say, when am I ever going to use this in my life?
I still say that on some of the algebra and calculus and some of those. I've never used them since I took the
And
class.
I didn't have a real good answer when they asked that sometimes. I was like,
Yeah,
you know.
correct. I didn't knowingly use it. I know this one still uses it.
You know, those engineers,
Yeah.
they use that stuff, I don't know if the doctor, modern technology, you really can just plug it in and, hey, it'll spit out the answer for you. I don't know if we really.
That does it for us these days.
That's right. And I'm thankful that I was not teaching when they had these. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine being in the classroom with everybody having an iPhone, smartphone. It'd be torture.
So what math classes did you teach? All of it?
Algebra 2, trig. I did teach.
Can you still do all that?
Sorry, I missed your question.
Can you still do all that?
No. I mean, I can do most of it.
You hadn't used it since you quit teaching it.
I can do most of it. I can figure it out now. But, that's like asking you, do you know every law? Do you know every in the Constitution? You could find it, right?
Oh, he's up here wanting to look at his magazine.
What's he doing? What's he trying to do?
He's being mischievous.
Do you know what the Pythagorean theorem is?
Go ahead.
Oh, never mind.
I'm going to let you.
A squared plus B squared equals, come on, all you got to do is answer that. A squared, somebody give him the answer.
Hold on, let me get the phone here and I can look it up real quick.
You ever heard of
Look, he's up here taking a picture of his own framed. We're just proud of Senator Elliott.
How many months ago was that? He looks a little thinner and a lot less hair on his face.
The picture that's probably several years ago.
Several.
Senator Smithman probably don't have a magazine with his face on it like this, do you?
Oh, that's man right there. I like that.
He's turning a little red. I think he's turning a little red soon.
He deserves it. He deserves it.
Yeah, I'll talk.
Oh, is he coming? Oh, what is he doing now? Has he got some math problems for me?
Yeah. So this is a school resource officer bill.
Wait, I got a question for you. What's the square root of -1? Is anybody, square root of -1?
-1 is what?
Oh my God,
What'd he say?
God, he looked it up, he Googled it. The square root of -1 is I.
Is I?
Yeah. Does anybody know what I squared is?
I don't think this is germane.
No, we're talking about our schools. We're talking about our schools and what this is going to help. It's going to let people learn about what
It's germane.
I squared. Does anybody know the value of I squared? Blount County, all my math students. Close. I squared. If I is the square root of -1, then I squared is the square root of -1 times the square root of -1, which would be 1. Wait, I figured it out. What did I say? I squared is -1. I squared is -1. I don't think anybody ever here is going to use this in their life except maybe Clyde.
But what we would use is school resource officers, right?
Hey, they're not going to use this either. Oh, we would use the school resource officer, definitely. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
That is definitely important. I don't know about the square root of -1 or I squared equals -1. I don't know if that's that important.
So this provides school resource officers in Blount County? Is that what?
Yes, sir.
That's a good idea. You know what else is a good idea?
What?
Allowing local law enforcement agencies to contract with private schools if they want to, permissive, of course.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
So that you could have school resource officers at the cost of and with insurance that covers them at private schools. Because, those are kids too, right? Sound like a good idea?
I like that's a good idea.
This body thought it was a good idea too. It was Senate Bill, ready for it? 7.
Wow, so we passed that the first week?
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's waiting for a place on the House calendar.
Oh my goodness. Senate Bill 7 is waiting on the House calendar.
Yep.
Who was the Senate sponsor of Senate Bill 7?
Well, I think you might know. And so
I got a good guess, I bet.
And so here we are talking about school resource officers. we got a bill that deals with them for the whole state, so that if a private school wants to contract with a local law enforcement agency and provide that private school provides the insurance that covers the local law enforcement agency's officer when they're on campus, so there's no risk to the county or municipal government, then that local law enforcement agency may decide that they want to contract with the private school to provide security for our children.
I bet that passed out like 35, 33 to 0 up
Like a hot knife through butter. And yet here it is. On the last day.
Who would have a problem with that?
You know, that's a good question. Why would they have a problem with that?
Why?
Why would that not ever make it onto the agenda?
Sounds like a great bill. Doesn't cost the state anything.
Yep. You know, of course, there were some questions that we got downstairs about insurance on both sides, and it turned into a very bipartisan effort and was amended successfully. Lots of work done on it. Get it just right. Been done for a while, and yet here we are. Talking about the square root of.
Don't make me start asking math questions. That might be my new tool to get people off the mic.
It's just amazing sometimes.
Hey, what's X plus X? No, I'm just kidding. Don't embarrass yourself.
Yeah, thanks.
There we go. Y'all are smarter than some of them say X squared.
No, that'd be X times X.
Hey, there you go. Hey, y'all are impressing me.
Well, I just wanted to make that point about a little bitty school resource officer bill.
That's a good point you made there.
It's frustrating sometimes.
Yes, it is.
You've had to deal with some of that this session, hadn't you?
Just a little bit, every once in a while.
Yeah. Too much of that gets in the way.
Can't believe you couldn't get SB 7 passed down there.
Yeah, you would have thought. You would have
Seems
thought.
like a simple.
Well, it looks like somebody left their phone up here. This could be fun. Oh, it's yours?
I wonder if the chairman of local legislation is ready to pass this yet, or is he still, we still got some more time?
How many, so in the esteemed words of my colleague, what does this bill do?
How many times I got to tell you? Let's start talking. What this bill does is going to allow people to get a great education in Blount County in a safe environment, you know, so they don't have to worry about their health and safety, their mental health, you know, all that. You know, we're going to protect our children. It's rural Alabama. They can't afford resource officers in every school, and we want that to happen in Blount County, especially so they can go to math class and learn about stuff. You kind of impressed me with that X plus X. I might have to start throwing some other stuff at you.
So what's the funding like? How does the funding work?
Well, from vape product to vape products.
Got it.
That's all it is.
Got it. You know, after the Parkland shooting, I was still a commissioner. I think Senator Bell pointed that out earlier. Thanks a lot. I was still a commissioner in Baldwin County. It was one of the, actually, it's the thing we worked out between the local law enforcement agencies and the schools, where the schools picked up some of the funding and the local law enforcement folks did the same thing. And so they cost share on that.
That's the same thing. The county commission has helped out, but they can't afford it.
Can't do all of
They
it.
can't do all of it. You know, the cost of everything has gone up so much.
Yep.
Not only as far as resource officers, but for other things too. So, but they're still going to share. The county commission is going, but this is just to help out so that, because there's a few schools that they just couldn't afford to get them in. They just can't do it. Can't do it. Limited resources. And unfortunately, we're not like the federal government. We just can't.
Can't print money.
Well, we just can't print it. It'd make our job a lot easier if we could print it. It might not be that good for our constituents out there if we printed money, but.
Yeah, I don't think we need to get into that.
We don't want to do that.
That's not
I wish
good.
we could take away that privilege from the federal.
Probably a bad idea.
I think we should take that privilege away from the federal government somehow.
Well, things come to a screeching halt if we did that. Maybe not a bad thing, though. So one of the things we found in Baldwin County, and I was pretty pleased, again, we've got a school resource officer, at least one at every single school in the county. And one of the things we found is that they are great at interacting with the kids. So it's not just the security function, right? It's not just the safety function, but a lot of times they augment what the teachers are doing and are able to see problems that are going on in a child's life that maybe the teacher is worried about math class and they're not worried, they're just not able to focus as tightly. And we've seen instances where, you know, mom is coming through the car line and we can, you know, the SRO is identifying we're later every day, we got a problem, the car's having a problem, something. I mean, they're just picking up on things that we just didn't notice before, and we're able to help families out because you're focused a little bit more on what's going on in that child's life, and God, it works out so well.
Oh, I don't know if you heard me say earlier, but some of them are the most popular people in the school, and it's not just about safety. I mean, discipline goes down. The teachers just, they use them. They come in the classrooms, you know, on parent-teacher day, on student-teacher day, whatever. You know, when they're bringing the parents in there and jobs, talking about that, and they're walking the halls, they're having fun with the kids. They're doing so much, and it's some of them great personalities, and it's just, you know, it's a shame that we can't have them in every school.
And if something bad does happen, they're there.
They're there.
And you know what? They know the school, and they know the kids, and they know the adults that are supposed to be on campus and who's not supposed to be on campus. They know if a kid's graduated and has no business being there, maybe graduated 2 years ago. They knew that kid when they were there, and whether or not they're a potential problem. They know where Miss Smith's classroom is. When somebody says, hey, there's a problem in Miss Smith's classroom, they know exactly where they're going on day one. They don't have to get a schematic out and try to figure out where Miss Smith's classroom is and how we're going to get there and what the ingress and egress looks like. They know it already. They're ready to go.
And thank goodness they know it, because I'm sure you're like me. You've walked in some of your schools. You can get lost quick.
I pass the lobby and I'm done.
Hey, they're a lot bigger and more massive than when me and you probably went to the elementary, middle school, high school. I feel like colleges sometime when I go back to some of the high schools in my district.
I would be very intimidated in some of those high schools now compared to my little graduating class of 102.
Mine was a little bigger than that. I think it was 192.
192.
But now I think my local high school.
Yours was 11.
11.
Out of 11.
And he finished in the top 10.
He did. Congratulations.
That's pretty impressive. That's impressive.
At least he didn't just barely miss it. That'd be embarrassing.
I heard number 11 got real sick and didn't attend the last semester.
Gracious, 11, that's something else.
No way. You really, is that true?
Where was that? Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
it was close.
He broke it.
Because nobody went on to college.
Okay, we got to get...
We got a new president up there. How you doing, Mr. President? He's not really paying attention.
Another microphone. That's a bad idea.
I guess we can just do whatever we want to right now since he's not paying attention.
Well, I hope you get your bill passed.
I hope someday, we'll get this bill passed.
I hope you do. I think it's worthwhile. It's worth doing. I think I wish some of our colleagues in the other chamber thought maybe passing an SRO bill was a good idea.
Yeah, I'm still worried about that SB 7.
7.
Isn't that what I said? 7.
Been there a minute.
7. Wow. What happened to SB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. Maybe this one would have done better if it was Lucky 7.
I don't think.
Don't think so.
I don't think so.
If it was Lucky 7,
it's gonna have bad luck too.
Should have called it Lucky 7, and then maybe instead of the SB 7, maybe it'd have done better. Just a thought.
So what's 2x plus 2x?
2x plus 2x is 4x.
Oh, good. You're good.
Yeah. I feel like you're trying to trick me.
I was just seeing if you'd say 4x squared or something.
I'm about to say thank you, Mr. President.
All right, what's 2x times 2x?
2x times 2x is 4. Yeah, same thing.
Nope.
4x squared.
There you go. Oh, man.
Forgot the x.
It's quick.
I forgot the x.
Did you know the Pythagorean theorem?
Yeah. I did. We were talking about that earlier. So anyway. Okay. I've reached my limit.
Me too. I'm starting to get tired. I need my fellow senator from Jefferson County to come give me a break.
I got you.
He's much better at this.
He had that's the longest I've ever seen him pay attention to one subject. He had a long attention span.
I did have ADHD now. No, I'm just kidding.
Would you lose it? Did you lose it? Well, since we had our math lesson for the day, I was going to ask the senator from Trussville if, sir, you can't take your coat off in the chamber. he done got hot up here having to. It's not hot.
Oh, yeah, it's a little heat.
You just
it's a little heat over here. It's a little heat now. Don't get me wrong. You're right.
Just outside of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
That'd make you hot, make you cold.
We're going to start getting them towels you can put around your neck to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna mess up our collar now, but we still.
How about in the new state house, maybe we can regulate the temperature better?
Hey, that sounds good.
I think that's going to happen.
Oh, I think it is too.
Yeah. But I would say today it's just about right for me anyway.
Yeah, it's a good.
Not hot, not cold. It's kind of about right for me.
It's the reason why I like to live in the South, right here.
Yeah, if you don't like it, just wait a few minutes. It's gonna change.
Yeah, yeah. I had a chance to. I might have said this if I didn't. I had a chance to go to Washington over a 6-year period, gobs of times. I mean, when I say gobs, I would bet you over a 6-year period that I at least went there, and I'm being conservative. I went there 30 times.
So let me do the math on that.
About 30, maybe 40, 30 times.
30, let's say 30. So where'd my math teacher go? 30 divided by 6.
Not
about 5 times a year.
It was a little more.
A little more.
Yeah, I tell you exactly how many.
So every month?
No, see, it sometime would be like the 6-week period.
Yeah.
And then sometime I could do it by not going.
Yeah.
But see, what it was, I was the treasurer.
Did you do it by Zoom?
Some of it. Yeah. But then the regular meetings of the organization was 4 times a year. So that was,
okay.
Yeah. But I was being the treasurer, I would have to go with the accounting firm to reconcile the books.
That's right.
So the firm was in D.C. So
my dad had a position like that.
You know what I'm talking about then. And so when you get a chance to go to Washington, D.C. in the spring, in the winter, in the summer, and in the fall, you realize, I realize I do not want to be up there. It's so cold. Ooh, it's so cold.
So years ago, probably 20, 25 years ago, when they had one of the snowstorms up there, they have them all the time, but my wife got stuck up there.
Oh my God.
And they was running out of food.
Yeah.
Didn't have anything to eat.
Yeah.
And she was up there for, I want to say 4 or 5 days. I can't remember. Now. It's been a long time. But they were just having to scrounge things around in the kitchens to, like we do at home.
Yeah.
You run out of white bread.
Yep.
Get you a hamburger bun.
That's right.
And you put your sloppy joe on it, or you maybe put you some cheese on it.
Yep.
And melt it and get you some cheese toast. Or you may
that's right.
You may put you a tomato on it.
Yeah.
A tomato sandwich.
Yeah.
And you're out of bacon, so you can't have bacon. Lettuce is all gone, so you still have a tomato out back.
That's right.
Get in, so you have a I tell you, when I was in college, my second year. First year I lived in the dorm. And the second year, me and some of my friends were gonna get a house. So, I'm 19.
Yeah.
Don't know about everything, at that point. Thought I did. I thought I knew everything. But so we got this house and we were all gung-ho, and then we had to pay our deposits.
Oh yeah.
Deposits. We didn't know about deposits. When we got through getting our power and our water and our cable turned on, we didn't have any money. But you know what we had? We had a can of hot dog chili, and we had a box of macaroni and cheese. So we got creative and we made us a box of macaroni and cheese chili dog sauce.
You were real creative.
We was out of money. We didn't have any money.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next day or two, we had to go out and do some work and get a little money. But anyway, that was my first experience with putting deposits down on utilities. I didn't know about deposits, and back then it was $100.
That's right.
And you start doing that 3 times, and
on limited money.
I didn't have
big money.
We had power. We had power. We had water, and then that winter came. I'll never forget this. The first morning, it was really, really cold, and I got up. I had to go to the bathroom. Went in the bathroom, and the water in the toilet was frozen. Ooh-wee. Inside the house.
Golly. So that's cold.
It was cold.
That's cold.
So it was an old house. So now, and all 3 of my daughters and got through college now, but every time we go by that house, I have to point out that house.
I know that's right.
That's the house.
That's what you call real cold.
That was cold.
I've only been in that situation. I mean, I've been in cold situations, but one kind of similar to that one time. I tell you what I did. I went to Detroit, and I don't know if you can remember the year, but it was a year that I think the Pittsburgh Steelers played in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I remember, that must have been in the 80s?
Yeah. I went up there, and a friend of mine, she grew up there, so her parents and everything were there. But her brother, who was an entertainer, he had a home there. And so he was up in Upper Michigan that weekend performing. So we had an opportunity to stay at his house.
Oh, wow.
But the only thing about it, didn't nobody fail to tell me that his heat was almost out.
Oh.
The heat went out. And it was a similar situation like we were saying. I'm in Detroit, snow on the ground, and I'm in a house with 0 heat. I didn't even have no electric heater. So I when I realized it, I just went and got a bunch of blankets. I wouldn't come out my net. I wouldn't let my face come out my net. I wouldn't let nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I got up putting, the stove would work. So I got a big boiler and heated some water. Yeah, took a bath, and then I jumped out of there. When you jump from there, you jump straight into some clothes. Yeah, but it was terrible, like what you were saying, frozen in the commode. It was cold. Oh, I know what you mean.
So I've been to Detroit one time. When I stepped off the plane, it was 0 degrees.
Good God Almighty. 0
degrees. So when I got back to the South, I ain't left nothing in Detroit.
Well, I was like that with Chicago. See, when I came out of college, I had I didn't, but my wife had a relative who was an executive with Coca-Cola. And so they were interviewing people, for good jobs. And so I went up for an interview. And when I went up for an interview, they put me down in what's called, if you know anything about Chicago, it's the Gold Kiss area. That's over by the lake, down by the lake on that end. And down at where I was staying, the temperature was 32 degrees. But when you go uptown to the other side of town, the temperature was 42 degrees. Can you imagine on one side of a city to this is city, the other side is a 10-degree swing? So
why is that? Maybe the wind blows
coming off the lake. Coming off the lake.
Oh, coming off the lake.
Coming off the lake, the wind.
Yeah. Wind.
And listen, I turned the job down because I told them any city that I walk out of one side or the other and it's a 10-degree difference, I don't need to be there. No, I don't need to be there. I've been come to pneumonia 10 times because I'm either going to overdress for the other side or I'm underdressed trying to get ready for that side, and I'm going to catch a cold, bad cold all the time.
Yeah. So you know what the coldest I've ever been?
What's that?
It was in 84, I think it was, and it got down to 0 here.
Ooh-wee.
Oh, cold here. Well, me and a buddy of mine, we decided we were going to go hunting, deer hunting.
Okay.
And young, foolish, don't know what you're doing. Well, I was underdressed.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sitting out there in the woods, and I'm starting to get cold, sure enough cold. And you know, you're young, and you're like, man, I can't leave, man. The other guy, I can't get out before he gets out. You know, you just kind of get them games going in your mind. He ain't out. I got to stay in. I can't be the loser. I gotta tough it out. You know. So after several hours, I done got real cold. I started getting concerned now. So I decided it's at the point that it don't matter if I lose. That's how cold I got.
Yeah.
So I got up and I walked toward the vehicle. And the way we were, it was on like a power line where the vehicle was. And I went this way and he went that way. So I don't know if he was waiting for me in the woods to come out at the same time I did or not. But when I walked out, he walked out at the same time.
Oh, yeah, y'all. Yeah.
We got in the car and we went home. And I got home and my fingers and toes were so cold. It felt like needles.
Mm-hmm. I've felt that before.
Coming all in my fingers and my toes. I thought I was gonna die. It hurt so bad.
Yeah.
So eventually all that thawed out, and fortunately I was all right, because I mean, I was that close.
Ooh, you could have had frostbitten.
Exactly. I mean, I was like, so you know how many years it was before I hunted after that?
How many?
About 30.
Ooh-wee.
I wasn't in for none of that. I don't like the cold. I still don't like the cold.
Well, you know, we learn from lessons. I might have told this story. I went to, if you know anything about the city of Montevallo, then there is a back road that takes you through Helena, and then it goes all the way through Bessemer, back by Morgan Road, and go all the way down to 150. You go into Bessemer. Well, we would always go up there to Bessemer, a place they call up in that area the Pipe Shop, and then you had Brighton. And we would go from there from time to time with new people and everything. So we went up there to a cousin of one of the people who stayed with us, lived up there, and she had a party. So we went up there. It was about 3 of us. And we was in this car that only had 3 of the studs which you put the bolts on. We had broke one of them.
Oh.
And we messed around there and hit some bump, and one of them broke, so it was just 2 on there. And they wasn't catacorner, they were right by
each other. Oh, that ain't good.
And I had put on, you remember back in the day, you used to buy these signature jackets, but you put your signature on.
Yeah.
They be thin as paper, no lining, no nothing. Well, I call myself being sharp. I had on a little old shirt and had that on. And it was freezing. You talking about cold. Ooh-wee. It took me like a month to thaw out. But after that, the thing I did different was that I said that unless I got a temperature, and if it hits that temperature, even with that temperature and a 5-degree wind or more, then I'm gonna wear a sports thermal, you know, versus just a little thin one.
Underneath,
Because I'm gonna stay warm. That was a product of that one situation. I just refuse to be cold. I do. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm like that too.
I can't. I don't want to be. And I tell you how my testimony to the fact that I can get cold quick. We got the boss sitting over here in the well. I done made a few requests to him about the temperature. He'll vouch for me. I mean, we didn't change it because, you know, after all, you've got 35 people in here instead of me. But it didn't stop me from asking, did it?
That's right.
But no, I did that to stay warm. I just do that. That's one thing though. When you're in your room, you make the temperature where you want to.
So, so you, what do you think got me back to going hunting after 30 years?
The thrill of the kill.
No.
What was it?
Baby girl.
What you mean?
Baby girl, she wanted to go hunting with a friend of hers.
Oh.
And her dad.
Okay.
Daddy, can we go? Yeah, baby girl, we're gonna go.
That's good.
But you know what I did different?
What you do?
I bought me some clothes.
I know that's right. No, that's
Coats.
right. Yes.
Some thermals.
Yes.
Some fleece.
Yes.
I don't get cold no more.
No.
I don't like cold.
I'm like you.
And on them cold days, I will have all of it on. All of it.
Oh, well, you know the words I use. Ain't no shame in my game.
There you go.
I'm gonna put them clothes on.
But then, a couple years ago, I learned a new trick.
What's that?
When it's cold, and the wind's blowing and everything, and all I got ain't enough,
Yeah.
I get my sleeping bag.
Yep.
I got me a hunting sleeping bag.
Okay.
And I'll take it to the stand with me, and I will get inside that sleeping bag, and I'll have it all the way over me.
Okay.
I ain't getting cold.
I know what you're saying.
It was get down into the teens with the wind. If I got all my clothes in my sleeping bag on, I don't get cold.
Well, you know, I know I have to dress like that too because you know, among the things I work with the football team, and you try being out there on that football field, and it's 20 degrees, and you down there standing in cold the whole game. You talking about cold? It be real cold, real cold. Thank God we getting ready to come into the season that we coming into now. You know.
Back when I played, in the helmets, they don't have all that stuff they got in them now. Man, we didn't have no heaters on the side heating our helmets up. Man, when you put that, you better make sure your ears are just right.
Yeah.
They'll tear them up putting that helmet on.
I know what you're saying. I do. Now, you know, everybody has done this, but I have not really been focusing like I probably should. Now, what does this bill really do? What this do? I know it's local bill, Blount County for that matter, but
I think you actually probably like this bill.
Okay.
There's a sponsor there. Maybe he wants to. You want to explain your bill to him?
No. He's had to explain so many times.
This is the 10th time. Let me see what we got here. No, I don't have to get it right. This one adds a couple of appointments to a.
Well, everybody trying to be a clown today. Everybody trying to be a comedian.
I'm gonna look it up then. Since it's like that, let me look it up. Let me look it up. That's all. I see the page 29. So let me see what's on there, what it says. That we gonna ultimately, hopefully get past. Let's see what we're working with. 29. Page what number? 388. Let's see. 388. Okay. Related to Blount County.
I done heard him talk about it so much, I got it memorized.
That's right. He represents Blount County, don't you, son? That's right. Oh, okay.
I don't have his schools memorized yet.
A county excise tax on. Oh, so y'all put a tax on the vaping products.
But here's the part you really gonna like. The revenue is gonna put SROs in every school.
What's the SRO?
School resource
officers. Oh, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. That's one. In fact, it's funny you said that. My wife had to go to today. This morning she had to go to. She ought to be leaving now. They had to go to within our circuit, like a judges conference or whatever you call it. Yeah. And so the sheriff took the judges because it was somewhere like off, in a sheriff, in a county facility or something, took them over there.
Yeah.
And the guy who took them was the resource officer at the school, used to be where I coached. And so he hadn't talked to me in about 2 years, so he said, dial him up so I can talk to him. And so while they were going, he and I talked. And but the key is what you just saying. So what about the house? Well, we need to reset for lunch then. Well, then, hey, since the boss talking like that, then I'm finna make a phone request. We need a little catering up in here. Little catering. We ain't got to leave. We wanted the caterer to come. And he can come right in the secretary's office. And we just take turns going in there.
Yeah.
What you think about that, Mr. Secretary?
We might need some good nourishment today.
Now, we want a meat and 3. We don't want no pizza. We want the meat and 3.
Yeah, Martha's place.
Oh, man, that'd be great.
Martha bring us some food.
It'd be already in the little styrofoam, too. We won't want nobody to be digging in no food.
That's right.
Yeah, that's all. We can get something to eat.
I was in Leadership, Alabama with Miss Martha.
You were?
Yeah.
You was?
Yeah,
okay.
She's a great lady.
Oh, okay.
Great lady.
Now, you know, it's funny thing you say about that Leadership, Alabama, and Leadership, Birmingham, all that kind of stuff. Let me tell you, I was never, ever picked for them classes. Never picked for the classes. And you know the strangest thing about it? This is my 10th year being a teacher, teaching them how to be leaders.
Yeah.
Figure it out. They ask me each year to come so that I can
to teach them
how to be a leader, but they didn't pick me to go through the training to be the leader.
I think I know why.
I don't know, because
I think I know.
That was back in the day that I wasn't in this. I was in corporate, you know. Yeah, I was in corporate.
See, my thought, that you went way back.
Oh, yeah, it is way back.
Because my thought was if they invite you there to train them, there's a certain period of time in which you can train. There's a time allotted. But if you're in the class, you can talk all the time, and you had been trained to talk all the time. But it was before you was trained to talk all the time.
So, it was.
So I was a little off on the time there.
but that just amazed me. They didn't think enough of me that I ought to be in the class. I said, but now they want me to help train the folks in the class, which I do. I do it. Yeah. I don't even tell them that what I'm telling y'all. I said nothing, but I just think about it. I said, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting that they thought that. So I enjoy it though. I enjoy it. Yeah. I do a lot of with the youth leadership too.
Oh, yeah.
I do with the youth leadership.
Yeah, they didn't have youth whenever I was coming up, but all my girls went through it. Several of my counties have it, and it's a good program. I've had, I think, 3 youth leaderships here this session.
Okay.
And a couple adult leaderships. But it's good because it shows those that, and I was the same way, pretty much all of us are, until you're exposed to everything, you don't know. You don't know all these different facets.
That's right.
All these different angles, and that other people have a different point of view. And those programs help you understand that and help you, with some of the team building exercises.
Yeah.
There's some things you can't do by yourself.
Oh, that's right.
You just can't. Nobody can.
That's right.
But if you put your heads together as a team and think about this step, that, then you can accomplish it. But by yourself, you can't do it.
Right. I don't know about you right now, but not a lot now, but I'm feeling a little lonely. About time for a little quorum, ain't it?
Yeah.
I don't see nobody in here. They might be gone. You don't have to worry about signing a die. If we ain't got no quorum, we'll be on decided bye-bye. You won't be decided because we won't have a quorum.
We let our byes be bye-byes?
Yeah. Y'all think we need to ease on out that way? Just make a quorum call, and then if we don't have 18, then we can, Now, we got a chair sitting up there. I'm going to tell you what he going to say, especially if if he's getting some signal that some things happening downstairs, we can come in here and have 10. He gonna say, seeing a quorum, we will proceed. Seeing one.
And then he gonna recognize me.
That's right. That's right. That's right. But yeah, what happened to the little radio where we could listen down? I forgot. Technology took over. We got the whole TV. Forget the little radio. We used to didn't have that. It used to be a little radio. You could listen, and you say, all right, it's time to do something else. But now they done gone big time. We got TV. But we don't get, I know it might in that room, but I got to talk to the secretary, not just for me. This is a group discussion. Because some of y'all might, but why we don't get the house? We can get the Senate, but why we can't get the house on the TV, can't we?
Yeah.
What we got to do is a little channel or something that you have to get. I'm going to have to come for a tutorial. I just want you to know that. I'm going to come because I don't really know how to do it, It's new to me, so
hey,
I'm going to do that. Yeah.
I got it right here. I got it right here.
You got the code?
At the house.
I need to put the phone on then? I don't know what to do. Do what? For real? What do I need to type in? Look at the house.
Hey, you better be careful.
.com.
You better be careful what you type in. You better be careful what you type in.
I'm trying to get some little guidance.
You need a filter on that phone. Make sure nothing comes up.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I'd say this: is when we walk out of here, even if we have a little break, we go to your office. I'm gonna show you what I just said. I ain't gonna do that in here, but when we get to your office, I'm just gonna pull up a standard place on here. Nothing, no website, no app, no put nothing in. I ain't gonna put nothing in. I'm just gonna go to a symbol that's got an F on it. It's called Facebook, just that symbol. I'm gonna hit that symbol and I'm gonna push it up about 5 times. And then you gonna pass out.
I ain't gonna look at it.
It's you got to, so you can verify I'm telling you the truth.
I know you're telling the truth.
Okay, all right. Good enough then. Yeah, that's good. It just amazes me. We living in a very open society now. Very open. It just, everything go. You know what the biggest drawback though about texting? It was like I was talking to somebody this morning, and I text them, and they text back, so I got a chance to see them. And the text don't match how they responded and the modulations of their emotions and intent. That's what you lose.
That's right. You can't have the inflection of your voice.
And then look, because I took the text as being just like that. And when I went there and talked to them, the smile came on their face.
Yeah.
And then I could associate that with the smile and the way they delivered it. And it was just totally different. It was just so nice.
You know what I call that?
What's that?
Human nature.
Yes.
We take things generally in the worst way we can. That's just human nature.
But see, the problem is you and all of us, we are better equipped with embracing like what I was saying and seeing the difference. When you ask a 16-year-old to be able to understand this other side that I'm talking about versus just the raw information, and then they apply that information to their personal feelings, not to the feelings of the messenger. Then all of a sudden you get somebody, they must don't like me. And the person may love you to death, but you took the words and applied your own meaning to their words instead of understanding what their meaning was. And that's one of the biggest downfalls, all this, back and forth on the social media and all that kind of stuff like that.
The nonverbal cues don't go through the internet.
That's right.
Through cellular or whatever.
That's right. Your hour or mine?
Yeah.
Who hour was it?
That was my hour.
All right, I'd like to be recognized then.
Senator Smitherman.
For the start my hour.
Okay.
Okay. But thank y'all. But yeah. Hey, might need a little raise. You heard I said, but Secretary might. See, so you have to make that determination. I ain't gonna speak over you what you should do or not. I just said might, you know. but no, you're absolutely right about what you're saying though. That this gonna be good though. Get back to the bill. We got to start off with the bill. This gonna be good that they're gonna have those resources.
Oh.
You know. I'm just telling you something. I hope they give them that training. You know, I mean, you just gonna, you know, you gotta have them, and you know, and if they suspect anybody or anything, they just got to go on and get them out the way, get them, you know, remove them from there.
Right.
Because you just got so many crazy people doing things. Yep. And you got to have their resource officers because even in that setting, some of them little kids will put something in the door where somebody can come in. You know, so you got to have somebody go around and make those rounds and make sure, you know, things are secure,
right,
what they are. And then somebody who's out there. I hope these resource officers are police officers. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you because, you know, we used to at the county courthouse, they got to where they had these security people and whatnot. And let me tell you something. Security people do a good job, but all they can do is keep it until the police get there. Mm-hmm. But why not have the police already in there, just like us here, right here?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we have security, company all that way. Why? We got the troopers down there. There's somebody who can go on and zap somebody and take them on where they got to go. All that delay zapping, you know, to get them on out of here, you know. I tell y'all what, though, you know, when we had the little situation here, you remember? I ain't gonna talk too much about it because, you know, you don't encourage folks acting crazy. We had a little situation here, and so, first of all, I tried to go out the back door because I had left my briefcase in the car. They said, not up in here, you got to stay in here. And then when they finally, it cleared, they let me go, I walked out to I walked out to the car to get the briefcase, and all of a sudden, I heard a voice. Just, you know, with a little loop return, I heard a voice from over there, and they said, how you doing? They spoke. They said, something Smitherman like that. And I looked, and I don't, you know, man, they was up in the trees. You talk about security. They were watching everything, you know, and they had recognized me. That's why he said that. They were up in the trees, man. They wasn't playing. They were watching everything it was. I was glad they were doing it.
Did it spook you a little bit?
Yeah, they did when they called my name. I said, they chuckled themselves because I jumped. I said, what? I said, y'all doing y'all job. That's why I'm telling you, I got to give them kudos. Them guys did their job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel very comfortable with them being here. You know.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. That was a good change, good move.
It was. Now, let me tell you, back in the day, this was back even when Siegelman was up in here, that we passed a resolution to do something on the back with that security. I remember there wasn't nobody back there. There wasn't nobody back there. It was in the front because nobody could come in but us with the badge. But you know, it was better minds prevailed that we need to have that kind of security back there. Yeah, so we have it back there now, you know.
Oh, we got a young.
Who are these people up there coming in up there? Where y'all from? Where they from? Look like a nice little group.
Looks like they're gonna get their picture taken.
Welcome to the Alabama Senate, y'all. Good to see y'all. I wonder, at the nice little shirts on, I wonder what's on them shirts.
I know they can hear us.
Yeah, they probably wonder who they talking to.
Oh.
Senator Reed. Oh.
Pro Tem. So y'all must.
Hey, y'all.
Y'all must be from Walker County. Are y'all from Walker County? Yeah. Yeah, I see the thumbs up. Walker County.
That's all right then.
Boy, I got a.
Look at them. I mean, there's a lot of them too. Look at them.
They still coming in.
They just flowing up in there. Look at that. Oh, look at them. Got their little Simons in their hands and everything. Look at them.
So, do y'all all know Senator Reed? Raise your hands. You know Senator Reed? They not. There we go. There we go. Raise your hand if you know Senator Reed. He's the best dude. He's the best dude. He's such a good dude, we elected him to be our leader. And he's working behind the scenes right now for us to figure out how we're going to move through the day. And he'll be back up here shortly. So I'm guessing y'all must be what, 10th grade? No? 5th?
Senator Chastain. Can I recognize some guests in the gallery?
You're going to recognize some.
Thanks. They're in the 4th grade.
We have some guests of Senator Reed, 4th grade from Cordova Elementary. They're the 2023 National Blue Ribbon School. Thank you all for joining the Alabama Senate.
When y'all get back, get a chance, because y'all be back in school with tomorrow maybe. No, yeah, tomorrow. Then I want y'all to do something. When you get your dictionaries, I want you to look up this particular phrase. You see the senator over there? That he's your senator. I want y'all to look up a phrase, and the phrase I want y'all to look up is called re-election package. Re-election package. You gonna know what that means. That I know, but you will when y'all look it up. And just think about that man with no hair, that bald-headed man that asked us to do that. Okay? I'm from Jefferson County, right next to y'all. That's where I'm from there. And so we're glad to have y'all.
So have y'all been to the Capitol yet? Yeah, been to the Capitol. It's a really neat place, historic place. It's older than him. It's been there a long time.
Oh, well, good. So these resource, how many schools that's going to be impacted by these resource officers in that county? You know?
The senator named them off a little while ago before you were in here. There was about 7 or 8 schools. And this will put school resource officers in each one of the schools. And I know y'all probably have do y'all have school resource officers at your school? Yeah. So this bill is going to help put school resource officers in Blount County in every school. Right now they're having to share between some schools, have to go one officer two or three schools. And I imagine at some point y'all may have been that way too, and y'all have progressed to where y'all have one at each school. And now this county is doing something to do the same thing, so they'll have a resource officer at every school. And that's a good thing. Because the resource officers are there to make sure things go like they're supposed to go. And things stay on track and stay safe. And this is a piece of legislation. It's not very long, but it raises some money to pay the officer's salary. Because the officer, he's got to be paid, and then that's what he uses to take care of his family pay the electric bill, pay the water bill, buy the groceries, do all of those things, buy clothes for the kids, all that kind of stuff. So there has to be money. There has to be a resource there, some revenue for those kids for those resource officers to get paid, and then they can go to the schools each day. I imagine we were talking about a minute ago about how much do you think it would take, all cost included, retirement, health insurance, salary, everything, car, uniform, all that, all together, how much do you think it would be for one? And I don't know the answer, so I'm kind of guessing in my mind.
I don't know. On the low side, probably 75,000. The high side, probably 100.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we were thinking, 80 to 100, somewhere in that range. So to have one of those resource officers at your school is fairly expensive. Now, it is worth it. And because we value children and y'all being safe and being able to learn and keep everything moving in the right direction in your school. So it's definitely worth it. But the money has to come from somewhere. And that's what this bill is. It raises money by putting a fee or a tax on vaping products. And then that money will be used to go to pay the school resource officers. So if you have 8 or 9 schools, you're getting pretty close to $1 million to do that in a county. So it's significant cost, significant money. But as we say, it's really worth it because of the benefit that is that comes from it. So I know most. This has been a real focus over the last 10, 15 years, and a lot of counties, they've moved to the point where they have a school resource officer in every school. Some counties are not quite there yet. Some are working on it. This county's working on it. So by the end of the day today, maybe in the next hour or so, maybe we'll have this bill passed, and then they'll have the resources in Blount County to have school resource officers in every school. And those school resource officers, they're usually have a background in law enforcement, so they can detect and know and understand, behaviors and what's going on and how things are moving. And those are very, very valuable resources in our schools. So what about Jefferson County? Do y'all have, or you may not know, but do y'all have school resource officers in every school, or y'all have to share?
I think we have them in every school.
Yeah.
I think we do.
I think we do in my county, too.
We got police officers, though.
Yeah.
And especially in the city, when we got Birmingham police officers, we helmet everything, though. Basketball games and whatnot, but they just there.
Yeah,
Knock on wood, we haven't had not one incident
we do that.
We needed to utilize them actually to be there to do something.
Yeah, we do that as well, because they'll be making sure traffic coming in and out, that goes smooth, all that kind of stuff, and transition maybe to the indoor. And, so it's a multi, I guess, task type. Officer, were they called at a school? Where'd that term win?
That's a good point, because you said resource officer, like somebody is gonna give you some information.
Yeah.
But they're in there to make sure you're safe.
And resource is very, very broad.
Yes.
There's a lot of things. So if you have a problem, any kind of problem, he's a resource. She's a resource.
That's right.
And can help you, and they may or may not be the one to help you, but they can help you get to the person that can help you because they're trained and all that. But it is interesting because I know as far back as I can recall, we've had a police officer in our high school. Didn't call it a resource officer until recently. So, and I say recently, that'd be 10, 12, 15 years ago, something like that. So,
see y'all.
Glad to have y'all in the legislature today. I hope y'all learned a lot about state government, and that your senator over there, he's awesome. Our colleagues have learned a lot today, Senator.
Yes.
They've learned a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Wow,
glad to have them.
Our audience is dwindling up there, Senator.
They listen to us on the internet.
You might have to get stirred up to get.
Oh, tell me, I'm trying to see where we're headed because we might be headed to a little quorum call.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all be full by now. Back then, I ate the food and everything. They come on. See, that senator got his water. We even had his food, and so we might need to join him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we gotta shut this down for a minute to do it.
Yeah. I think something's in the works. Something's in the works. Maybe we'll get some things worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they trying to see what we can do.
Yeah. So I wonder I might as well getting some information in this bill and learn a little bit more about it, but alternative nicotine product. Are you familiar with that terminology?
Which one? Vapor device and alternative nicotine product? What is that?
Alternative. I guess alternative to a cigarette, alternative to a cigar, alternative to a pipe. Maybe it seemed like it'd say vaping device. Mm-hmm. It has vapor product.
You know, since you talking about that vapor thing, let's talk a little bit about it. And that make us be germane what we're doing.
That's right.
I'm not interested. Let me tell you what I'm interested in. I'm interested in keeping those disposable ones away from the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in no child that's the right age, a person being able to purchase it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not interested in putting the places out of business.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, and I don't know the answer to this, but one of the problems is that when they start talking about the registry, the products to some registry, I know that, I'm not against safety or nothing, but the requirements that they have, it's pretty much going to shut down about 60 to 65% of the industry. And so I don't think that that's the goal, to cut the industry down, whatsoever. And, that's the case.
Mr. President,
I'll yield to him, Mr. President.
With that, Mr. President, I move final passage of HB 388 using the previous roll.
Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered.
Mr. Albritton, Mr. Williams.
32 ayes, 0 nays. House Bill 388 passes.
Mr. President, with that, in between bills, I do have a resolution for a gentleman that's passed away, SJR, that I would like to.
All right, Secretary, read and receive the SJR, please. Any objection for consideration? Hearing none, so ordered.
Senate Joint Resolution number 90 by Senator Chambliss, mourning the death and celebrating the life of Charles Luker.
Mr. President, while waiting on the pro tem, I'd ask for a moment of personal privilege.
Yeah, you're recognized.
So, Mr. Luker was a constituent of mine, and he had a long career in public service, and I got to know him 12 years or so ago. And he was one that, even though he had to retire several years ago to take care of a family member, he was still engaged. He was still involved, still working on legislation. And he was a revenue commissioner in Coosa County, and I know the senator across the way has some interest in Coosa County. Did you know Mr. Luker?
Mr. President? Yes, sir, I did. And he was a good friend. He was trustworthy, and he loved Coosa County.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about that. And he, when he had to retire several years ago, he was a revenue commissioner. And I think, let's see, I was trying to see, yeah, from 1978 until 2030. Loved it, loved the county, worked hard for it, and this was just a joint resolution to honor him, and hopefully we'll have time today for it to go through downstairs.
Highly appropriate, sir.
Well, thank you, sir, and appreciate your acknowledgement of Mr. Luker and all that he meant to Coosa County, but not also Coosa County, but revenue commissioners all over the state. I actually passed the last bill that he worked on a couple weeks ago. Shortly after his death. So it's a real tribute of everything that he did. So if it's appropriate, Mr. President, could we get the resolution read?
Sure. Secretary, read the resolution.
Whereas it is with deep sadness that we note the passing of Charles Charlie Luker of Birmingham, Alabama on April 18, 2024 at the age of 74. Whereas his passing leaves a void in the lives of his loving family, many friends, and the community where he was highly regarded. Whereas Charlie Luker was born on September 29, 1949 to Leif and Mary Ellen Rogers Luker. He was a lifelong devoted servant of his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and dedicated his life to service in his church and his community. Whereas Mr. Luker was elected to serve as Coosa County Tax Assessor in 1978 and served until March 2013, when the offices of the Tax Assessor and Tax Collector were combined in 1985, he became Coosa County's first Revenue Commissioner. He proudly served the residents of Coosa County for 33 years. Whereas Mr. Luker became president of the Alabama Association of Tax Administrators, in that role he served on several statewide committees revising and improving the administration of taxes throughout Alabama. He also collaborated with state lawmakers by providing advice on tax legislation and testifying on property tax matters. He was instrumental in the development of the state's tax lien process that is utilized in more than 45 counties in the state of Alabama. He also worked on legislation during the 2024 regular session that became law 2 weeks after his passing. Whereas Charlie Luker is survived by his wife, Melinda Luker, and children, Chase Luker, Amanda Luker, and Abby Luker Fitzpatrick. Although his presence will be greatly missed, the memory of Charlie Luker will be cherished in the hearts of all who knew and loved him. Now therefore be it resolved by the legislature of Alabama, both houses thereof concurring, that the death of Charles Charlie Luker is recorded with deep sadness, and this resolution is offered in tribute to his life with heartfelt sympathy to his family, whose grief is shared by many.
Mr. President.
Mr. President, with that, I would ask unanimous consent for immediate consideration.
All right. Any objection? All right. Hearing none, so ordered. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Point of personal privilege.
You're recognized.
Just one more comment on that, Senator, is, he worked very closely with a gentleman named Lewis Scarborough, who also was a man who grew up in Coosa County, then who moved to Huntsville, did very, very well there, came back, and then actually bought the first schoolhouse there in Rockford, turned it into community center, and then Mr. Luker and others would hold court there, what is now the Triple R there in Rockford regularly. And tremendous man. He will be missed greatly. Thank you very much for honoring him.
Mr. President.
Senator Reed.
Mr. President, the senator has a resolution that I think he wants unanimous consent on.
All right. Any objection? Hearing none, so ordered. Secretary read and receive the resolution, please.
From the Committee on Rules, House Joint Resolution number 276, recognizing the creation of the Alabama-Israel Joint Legislative Caucus, receives a favorable report.
Mr. President, move adoption of the resolution.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Thank you, members.
Thanks, Senator Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, if I'm not mistaken, we're still on local bills in the regular order. So at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we recess until 2 p.m.
Okay, you heard the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Are we standing in recess till 2?